It's launch time here this Saturday on Racing Post Live with our sponsors Betfair. Welcome along to the party. We're rip-roaring through January. I'm delighted to tell you that as well. It feels like 2022 has been here forever. What a show we had last Saturday. We're going to carry on as we mean to go on. Quite absolutely right about that. There is a great one today. You'll be delighted to know. I don't know, this is an interactive show. All our regulars will know that. If you're new to it, get involved on YouTube, like and subscribe, and then get that chat box up. Let's hear from you. This is your chance to have a shout out on what is a soggy Saturday out there. Rain at Sandown, rain at Wincanton. There are two tracks. In fact, Wincanton, supposed to be on good to soft, is a little bit more testing now than it is in Esher. Would you believe that? Great to have the crowds out there. If you're watching at the track, let us know. They can do that on Facebook Live as well. Anything on Twitter. RPL Live. All right, who have I got with me today then? We welcome him back for the first time this year, Charlie Poste. How are we, my dear friend?
Good, mate, yeah.
It's hats and gloves weather at the moment, isn't it? Scarves and all that sort of thing.
Well, we were walking in, I happened to see you on the other side of the road and you were shivering. You looked
it was like someone was following me around with a hose, and there was Posty, and I had my glasses, I was going like, is that Posty? Sort of thing. And he said, I come alive in this weather. Kate Tracey joins us back as well for the first time. How was your holiday period, Kate?
Really good, thank you. Busy, lots of racing. Really enjoyed it, though. Actually got some sort of time off to enjoy the Christmas period.
Any winners?
Look at it. Few winners, but a little horse called Tornado Flyer in the King George. Not that I've mentioned it too many times, but
Do you know what? I did see that because, of course, you're a columnist now for Betfair as well. You put 3 up there today. We'll get to that, Kate. You're pressing the buttons as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Good to go?
I think so. Anyway, I've got.
You're like an old handicapper now in this studio.
Supposedly so. Yeah,
first time she's ever heard that from anyone, I imagine. And certainly the first time this year as well. All right, we're in good form. One man that last Saturday that absolutely knocked it out of the park. He's back. He's the big hitter himself. Let's go to Dublin with Barry Orr.
Good afternoon, all. Hope everyone's keeping well.
We are, Barry. We are, absolutely. Listen, I know it's a strange time over there in Ireland as well. I was reminded by someone in the week that you've still got an 8 p.m. curfew, haven't you, over there? It's remarkable.
Yeah, we do in the pubs, yeah. Pubs are shut at 8 o'clock because Omicron doesn't go out after 8, nor do we.
Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
people can turn up with a PCR, without a PCR test now, but you can't go and enjoy a pint with your mate. But listen,
we're all boosted up and everything. But happier days ahead. I think it's the beginning of the end, Dave. Fingers crossed.
Well, absolutely. You're a Christian as well. You wouldn't be out after 8 o'clock, would you now? But it's fair to say you did have a good Saturday last week, Barry. What have you got for us today?
Yeah, we're going to kick off with a lucky 15. Funny enough, I fancy a few moody ones today, all right. And if things turn our way, we could get a nice few quid for the Inter Jockeys Fund, who was our chosen charity for this month. Obviously, basically what we're doing here is just showing the functionality of the exchange and the sports book and hoping to get a few quid along the way and show people the differentials between the two. How obviously the exchange, you can do so much more, whereas you're betting against other customers on the exchange, whereas the sports book, you're betting against us being the bookmaker. But Kate, please, I believe you're going to do the magic assistant this day. So fingers crossed. What we're going to do is we're going to look at 2 horses, a lucky 15, which is obviously 15 bets. It's 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator and 4 singles. So we're going to do it for 1 quid each way. So it's going to cost us 30 quid. And the 4 horses are in the 3 o'clock in the Veterans Chase and Sandown Prime Venture. Going to put that in. And then the following race, the 3:35 Navajo Pass, who did us a nice turn last year for Donald McCain. Then we're going to go to the 1:30 in Wincanton, the upcoming race, which is the money back special race on the Betfair Sportsbook. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Inferno Sacre, out of an unraced half sister to Sprinter Sacre, cost 37 grand. Hasn't shown much yet, but I'm going to put that in for Nigel Hawk. And then another Nigel Hawk horse at 240. We're going to put in Aro Branco. That's the 4th and final leg of our lucky 15. So fingers crossed. I think that'll come to over 100 grand if that comes up. And I'm sure we'd be the toast of the Injured Jockeys Fund if that comes up. Fingers crossed we might land a couple of those in cross doubles and treble.
Marvellous, Barry. Great stuff. And this 1:30 coming up, the first race of 8 that we're bringing you here today on the Racing Post Live, you do have an offer as well. We're going to see this throughout 2022, aren't we? Now, talk to me about this, Barry. This is if your horse fails to finish in the first 3, money back up to a tenner, right?
That's bang on, Dave. Yeah, you've done my job for me there in the 1:30 Wincanton.
I read the brief.
If your horse fails to finish first, second, or third, you get your cash back as a free bet up to a tenner. So just check out the website there. And that's applicable to both Sportsbook and Exchange, Dave. Historically, we were only able to reward loyalty to our customers on the Sportsbook where it was our money, and never really on the Exchange. But we've been able to do a metric where we take the hit on the exchange as well, basically, but reward exchange customers, which is very important as well, and to promote liquidity on the exchange. But this week, for the whole week, it's double daily rewards on the Betfair Exchange and Sportsbook as well. So watch out for all those great concessions throughout the week. But today, money back special, 130 Wincanton.
Brilliant, Barry. Thanks very much. I couldn't have done all that, so I'm some way off the great man. Yeah, I have to say. 2022, the year of giving. So it encourages you to play some bigger prices, doesn't it, basically?
Yeah, I'm sure, exactly. Yeah, it's in for sure it does. Yeah,
You're going to tell me you're on the 74 favourite now, aren't you?
It's a great offer. No, I'm not actually in this first race.
Yeah, should we get it up?
Yeah.
There's a market. Again, if you're new to the show, welcome along. Every Saturday we show you the real market. There it is, over there. And this is as it goes. You can see the bookies trading now. All the crowd's coming back, of course. Those betting rings are bustling out there. This is where the money is. So the blue, that's the backer stake, and the pink, that is the layers, the traditional bookies. And you will see that in running as well as it develops. There is Pittsburgh, it is Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second time wind-up for Ryan Potter.
Yeah.
Not on him.
No, landed a gamble last time. Actually, I'd like to, a girl that works for us, Alice Stevens, rode it. She's a real talented young rider.
Yes. There was a big headline, that, wasn't it? It was 125, wasn't it? Into
yeah, I mean, look, as in it had the look of a real plot about it, didn't it? You know, as in
11 to 4 joints.
Not a lot of form figures in the book, and gambled heavily on the day and just prevailed. And yeah, Alice did a good job. And I heard Kevin Blake say on the Betfair podcast that Kevin Brogan was a positive. I don't see that for me. And look, the horse didn't look to have that much in hand the last day. So I was looking elsewhere. I just believe that Catterick was the day in question. And a lot of different conditions at Wincanton today to that day.
You don't think Potter's going to conjure up the magic for the second time?
That's horrendous.
That is horrendous. I was waiting to say it as well. I spoke to Ryan Potter yesterday, actually. He's got a breakthrough runner today in the Tolworth Hurdle today. Jetois. He's on the drift, but it's a big year for him. It's his first full year. He's on 17 winners, and this was the title gamble. So second time wind-up. I know he might still have some more to come, won't it? So you look out for these Potter horses at the moment. What he is good at, Ryan, is finding the right races for the right horses.
Yeah, I mean, they're very capable at setting
proper
one up.
head in the form, but, you know.
Yeah.
And the programme book. So look, what is the tip?
Midnight Callisto for me. Bumper winner.
Can see that.
Pardon?
Can see that.
Bumper winner on soft ground. And I just like the fact that she seems to be coming to the boil over hurdles. That the last run narrowly beaten at Taunton by Lime Drop, who in-form horse Henry Daly's.
Yeah.
Had to suffer a £5 rise for that narrow defeat. But I like the fact that, like I say, she seems to be coming to and getting it together over
Healthy
hurdles.
horses with Honeyball as well.
Honeyballs are going well as well at the
You
moment.
like one of his in the next race, don't you, coming up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, a little tease for that then. But a Midnight Callisto, first time cheap pieces for Charlie Poste. Kate Tracy.
Yes, so when I was first looking at this race, of course, I appreciate Pittsburgh, but I was of the same opinion as Charlie, actually, where I didn't think he had that much in hand last time out, for all that he travelled through the race so convincingly. And I say, Alice Stevens gave him such a confident, composed ride. I really liked that ride a lot. So the jockey difference to me isn't going to make that much of a difference either. And I do just wonder how much he did have in hand. That was clearly the plot, but whether or not I'd back him at that price now, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Planned Paradise obviously was a bit of a handicap job than plot last time out after 3 quieter runs, following his Irish second there in an Irish point-to-point, and then ridden very differently last time out, more prominent, probably get that kind of a ride again here. So I thought he was obviously hugely interesting to continue this handicap form for the Mulholland Yard. However, the one, if we're going to go for big play horses today, the one who I do like, I think you are in agreement with me as well, Dave. Where
We've both gone for this.
Yeah, Coupe de
I'm
Ball.
delighted to hear this, Kate. I'll tell the viewers why in a minute.
Yeah, Coupe de Ball, basically, you're still getting an each-way price about him. He should be far better than this mark of 106. He's a big, gorgeous horse, and he's just had his issues. Charlie would know these types himself. They're a bit too big for their own good at a young age, and they have issues as a result.
He doesn't handle those anymore. He doesn't handle those ones anymore. He's point to point now. He's got he's got the ones that don't want to do it
straight
anymore.
from a young
the little
age.
tiddly ponies, you know what I mean? He doesn't handle them anymore.
If only. Yeah, so Coupe de Ball, he's but the way he travelled through the contest last time out at Newbury, I know he's a big price, I know he faded away, but there's an awful lot of ability there that is better than this mark, which just sees him getting into this 0 to 105 as well off of 106. So hopefully he'll be the each-way play.
I like him as well. I wanted to look for something unexposed in this race. Obviously, the first two favourites have shown their hand a bit more, as has Milado. For Milton Harris, who's still going well. Mitchell Bastian having a good season, aren't they? And Kate has got more than a foot in the Tom George Yard. So I was delighted to hear that this was a guy that they thought might go forward. And It's just a case of whether he's cherry ripe for this, isn't it? The market's not been screaming for him, and he's got the top weight. Obviously, he could be a bit of class, couldn't he? He should go on the ground all right, though. Barry, apart from the play in the four-timer, Barry, Inferno Sacra, is there an against the fav here or anything?
Yeah, I agree 100% with Charlie. I don't think Alice did anything wrong on this horse when the gamble was landed last day. It was back from all sorts of prices as well. So I don't think there's an uplift in the jockey book in there at all. But they've backed it again. It's 2.72 now. So it's 7-4. When we first went up the race, Dave, it was a 7-2 chance. Actually, Planned Paradise, the horse that made all last day, he was favourite when we first priced the race at the 48-hour stage. But Pittsburgh's been well supported again. 286, so around 7-4, 15-8 mark. You know the horse I like in it, and I'm Inferno Sacra. Like I said, he's out of an unraced half sister to Sprinter Sacra. Cost 37 grand. Hasn't really showed anything bar one piece of form when it was fourth. I think that it could be anything. He's rated 93. It's a pretty poor race now. It's for horses rated 0 to 105. And the 4-year-olds get a £13 weight for age allowance. So that kind of swung it in my favour. Hopefully he'll go on the ground and he could run well. He's well bred anyway. So fingers crossed. Nigel Hawk, obviously famous for riding a Grand National winner and selling a Grand National winner. You know who that was, Dave?
Indeed. The 4-year-old at the time, of course, Tiger Roll. He does do well with 3-year-olds going straight into handicap, of course. New Year.
That's it. That's an angle that I've always spotted with him. He does like to do that, take advantage of that weight per age, and he does make it pay plenty of times.
There you go. So Nigel Hawk double today, Barry. I tell you what, you put in a big winner on this show in the next couple of weeks, you feel like you're, invincible. Banana man. You know what I mean?
That's not me, Dave. This game tames lions. You know
I'm
that.
watching. Listen, it's a new year, new
I'm not
characteristics.
sticking my chest out. No,
look, this is a tricky day today, guys, and I think I can agree with that. We got the Tolworth. Let us know what you think about Constitution Hill. The warm favourite in that. Any twos on would be fair price to my eyes. But we're going to be talking about the Cheltenham Festival, of course, as we go along. We'll have a little bit of a breather towards the back end of the races, so we'll be able to give you some good shout-outs out there as well. But let us know your tips in the meantime.
What about you comparing yourself to Banana Man?
Well, no, Banana Man was invincible, wasn't he? He was invincible. I was a big fan of Banana Man.
Of all the superheroes to go with.
9 Arcadia Lane, wasn't it? Something like that.
For Banana Man.
Am I showing my age? I know I look younger than the pair of them, but I'm definitely a bit older, I must say that. Anyway.
Well, you're young enough to buy white football boots, which is another story.
Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Absolutely. I've been out.
Very millennial of you, really.
Yeah. Would you believe? So look, it's horrible out there, isn't it? This is the place to be this afternoon. Racing Post Live with our sponsors, Betfair, and they're lining up for the first of 8 races. Some tricky puzzles, but we're here to help you solve them. Don't worry about that. And away we do go. Good luck wherever you're playing then. Coupe de Bowl, the grey that myself and Kate are hoping wins the prize, is right up there, a little bit keen at the moment. Not quite as keen as Planned Paradise, James Best, who is bidding to repeat the feat of his win last time. Looking down, where's Midnight Callisto? Just on the near side. Nice to see her up there as well. Took that really, really well. Ooh. Again, nice and enthusiastic in the first time. Cheap
Inferno
pieces.
Sacra, very keen.
Very keen.
Well, okay, let's have a look for Inferno Sacra. Yeah, again, is that very keen? I don't know.
That's very
I'd say.
There's no pace.
That's it, Barry. You bat it back. They're trying to get you. They're trying to slag your tip in the first without before we jump to. I don't know if that's very keen. I do comment this in running, and so I shall be the authority here. I would say just took keen hold.
Spoken like an experienced horseman.
There are degrees of race reading.
Yeah.
All right, I'm a very experienced race reader, and let me tell you, if I was able to go back and look at some of your eyes, Charlie Post, I would be getting the spell check.
Not me, as in I was very good at switching them off.
It
was switching them back on was the problem.
Yeah, exactly. I've still got another circuit to go, have I? Unbelievable. We're going to have some fun this afternoon. Like I say, if you're new to the show, have a word. Let us know you're out there. We're right on the far side. One thing I would like to know from you, tell us about Wincanton. They're going a fairish gallop, guys, and as we were, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Wincanton is a sharp right-handed track, long run from the third last into the straight. But when the ground gets slow, it is one of those places that, for all of its flat nature, you have to see the trip out well.
You don't want to kick too soon then.
No, you definitely don't.
It does seem to bit of, some drama between the second last and last. We've said that on the show before, Kate. So if you've got one coming to last, don't count your chickens just yet.
No, definitely not.
Camera angle doesn't help. Sure, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's the head-on camera angle, so you don't know what's in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So listen, if you've got a wish list out there for 2022, right to the BHR, SIS or whatever the race course is, change that camera angle. But again, when you do these comments in running, they're one of the reasons why I get the hurdles wrong all the time. I'm like, where are we? You can't really tell. I do think we need to mark the race courses a bit better out there, but perhaps that's just my eyes, I don't know. All right then, we are coming towards the business end of the race. This is a sharp 2 miles, of course. And Midnight Callisto Poste, putting it right up to Bestie on the inside.
Yeah, travelling nicely, jumping well. Like you say, Planned Paradise, James Best taking him along. Noble Savage also there, up there. Your guys fancy Coupe de Bol also in a decent enough position.
He's going all right, isn't he? Yeah. Pittsburgh right upside him, and Kevin Brogan looks like he's putting double at the moment, Kate.
Yeah, he really does, doesn't he? As you say, taking the wider course, and when the ground is softer at Wincanton, you do want to come into the home straight an awful lot wider and off of that inside line, which Kevin Brogan is obviously, hopefully going to take that ploy. A little bit disappointed that Coupe de Bol's already under pressure there. He's just not picked up in any way.
They ran too quick for him, Kate, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what it is, because they've stolen the march, these first two up front. So it's the last time out scorer then. Planned Paradise. Looking for Pittsburgh.
Kevin Brogan very confident.
Very confident. Very
It is an awful long way home in these soft conditions. It's deceptive.
Leading conditional then on Pittsburgh. Not panicking at the moment, but so he's playing it as Poste said maybe. I'll tell you what, this is tiring underfoot, isn't it, guys? And Bestie at the moment on Planned Paradise.
He's having a lovely...
Looks like he's going just about the best. And what's this in fourth then at the moment? Is that Gaelic Thunder on the inside? No, it's Pilsden Pen. Goodness me, right at one of the outsiders. This ground is a bit of a levener. Okay, 2 out. Here we go. Bestie comes up well. I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh.
Get the Planned Paradise.
Pittsburgh wasn't very good at all, was it?
Easy time with things on the front end.
Let's have a look then. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of weight differential going on here. This is Rex Dingle and Jeremy Scott. How's this got enough a mark of 87? This is absolutely handicapped.
Jeremy Scott, Wincanton.
Totally unexposed. This is over, isn't it?
Does he find as much?
Goodness me. All right, so ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Surely Rex Dingle gets his home, doesn't he? Yeah, okay, you can see, look, going very low there. Really good run. The two have come miles clear. Planned Paradise, honourable run in defeat, giving a lot of weight away to the completely unexposed Pilsden Pen. Got in off a correct mark of 87, Barry. 3 runs, 8-8, duck egg, 125 to 1 shot, takes the opener.
125 to 1, but had a Betfair SP of 82, so didn't go unbacked. I don't know what his official SP was. The runner-up Planned Paradise hit a low of 1 to 2, 1.48, and your favourite Pittsburgh also traded low. That traded at around 6 to 4 on 157, so around 15 to 8 on 7 to 4 on Pittsburgh. So 2 done in running at odds on, and your winner at a Betfair SP of 82.6.
We were all lukewarm on the Fav, Barry, weren't we? And it was the gamble landed last time, wasn't it? Basically,
yeah,
the ground definitely was much better when he won at Catterick.
Yeah, sharp track on decent ground at Catterick for the time of year, and he just didn't look like a stayer at all over this.
Now we got jumping ground, haven't we?
Yeah.
My lord.
I mean, the winner there by helmet. Australian speed sire, no?
Better known to Helmet as the rest of us. Helmet. You're doing a Melrose, what Rodway does.
Yeah.
It's Rodway's birthday today, you know, by the way.
Who's?
Graham Rodway's birthday today. Peppa Pig World, I believe he's gone to. I think he's somewhere like that out there.
Surely even
sure.
money for Peppa Pig World,
this
isn't
Pilsden Pen, Kate, I mean,
Yeah.
what do we do with this? I mean, do you think there'll be a bit of an inquiry as to what on earth has been going on? I mean, he ran on the flat, didn't he? Who was he trained with when he was on the flat? Joseph Chute had him on the flat. Couldn't get the best out of him there. He's had 3 runs over hurdles, beaten no further than 31 lengths. But he has been keeping better
3
company.
runs quickly as well.
Yeah.
Well, that is often a sign, isn't it? Let's get them the mark and then we'll work on them a bit.
That's all right, Gino runs later.
That's all right, Gino, on the second start of Fontwell, he was beat by 52 lengths. That chap runs in a Grade 1. And yet here he is off a mark of 81. We actually gave him a Racing Post rating when he was beaten 30 lengths by Paso Doble last time at Taunton, when he showed very little, to be honest, of 85. Handicapper, you could say, has got it about right, but that's now what, looking at a £7-8 rise? Because he's beaten the right horse, hasn't he?
Yeah, and they've pulled a long way clear of the third, Midnight Callisto. So, yeah.
Jeremy Scott is a trainer that goes in and out of, I don't want to say form. He just has hot periods. And he did come good just before Christmas. But look, that was hard to see. Anyone brave enough to say they had it out there?
And with no market signs either.
No, there was. No. I mean,
that's going to help them in any inquiry of what was the improvement. Well, it's not backed, so...
That is the sort of thing, right, guys, just to give you a little insight to what happens here at the Post. That will now be flagged up on lots of news desks at the Racing Post. There'll be threads and that. Whenever there's a big prize winner, someone will flag it and we'll decide whether it's deemed worthy enough. So someone will, because it rarely happens, of course. Where does it come from? We'll look into it. The stewards will look into that, and they will. If you ever want to find out where this has come from, the improvement, the trainers are often called in to ask. You can go onto the BHO website, why they ran badly. Type that in. You'll see all the stewards' excuses and all that sort of thing. And perhaps why your horse fell in a hole, for example. A lot of horses are going to struggle to get through that ground today, aren't they?
Massively, yeah. Yeah, you want strong stayers at the trip.
We are off and running then. Delighted to say welcome along the second Saturday of January, and plenty going on out there as well. And we go now to a Grade 1 track. It is Sandown. It's a 2-mile handicap. There are some right old characters in this, and the favourite, well, the joint favourite now, Barry, is a horse that we've covered on this show before called Gunsight Ridge, and he's got a 2-tribe sort of feeling about him at the moment. You're either with or vehemently against.
Yeah, I was against him. I put him up as a lay at 15-8. He's out to 3-1 now. He's been usurped at the top of the market by the front-running Numitor, who's at 3.85. So 11-4 Numitor on the exchange. Gunsight Ridge is 3-1. Up the straight 6.2. 82 Monsieur Le Croc and Moonlighter, and it's 15 bar. But I'm going to take the favourite on, but I'm going to take him on in running, please, Kate. Mm-hmm. So his last 6 runs, would you believe, he's been beaten at 5s on. He's been beaten at 6-4 against, 7-1 on. 5-4 against and 3-1 on. So he has a big monkey beside his name for me, and I'm definitely looking to take him on. Now, I'd take him on pre-race, but not at he's drifting out madly at the moment. So he's 7-2. Well, he's over 3-1 now. He's heading towards 130. So I'm happy to try to lay him in running. And what we're going to do is we're going to look to lay him. So we select the lay button. Yeah. We'll take the odds down to 2.0, which is even money. So just type 2 in the backers odds, and we'll put in. We're looking to lay 50 of that.
50, yeah.
Yeah, you with me?
Yeah.
And select place bet.
Place bet,
confirm bet, and then go up to where it says unmatched bet, because that bet wouldn't be matched yet, and click the keep option, where it says keep.
Sorry, yeah, got you.
Yeah, in the bet slip.
Yeah.
Click the keep option and press update. So once that race goes in play, our bet will also stay in play. If we didn't select that option, it would cancel automatically when the race went in play. All unmatched bets on the Betfair Exchange are cancelled automatically once the race goes in play, unless you select that keep bet function.
Mm-hmm. Lovely, Barry. And look, there are a lot of people that watch this show posted have different screens, a bit like Kate at the moment. She's got her own personal one, which, looks like something like Star Wars. And I mean, it looks a bit like a BBC gallery at the moment, Kate. All you need is a nice little
lots of, just someone
mincing around. You'd be a good producer, I think. I'd be feeling safe hands if I was with you. And there will be learning about how it's all done and all that sort of stuff. And genuinely, since you started, do you remember when Barry came over once from on and in this studio, if we had anything, but we actually did a little promo and we sort of educated you along the way, didn't we?
You did. We stood up. I think we were standing.
We were standing.
Yeah.
We were standing.
Yeah.
We were standing there. We couldn't afford chairs.
For an entire show?
No, we did a little sort of promo thing. Barry came over, and it was just before an Ascot, I seem to remember. And Poste was sort of in between me and Barry, and he was the jockey learning everything.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, learning about laying and running punting.
Yeah, learning how to gamble and lay horses.
It was good that I was an innocent child about it all. And
the licence had gone at that point, of course, hadn't it?
Had it gone by then?
Please tell me it had. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure it had. So look, Gunsight Ridge, a lot of people will want to take this chap on.
Yeah.
Bumped into long press last time. Look, on paper, this wins.
Yeah, and like I don't think there's anything wrong with getting beat by long press, is there?
No.
So, but like much as we're questioning the horse's resolution a little bit and profile, I think the last day was just bumping into an incredibly well.
You are a forgiving man in 2022, aren't you? Because
I think it's my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, correct.
Hang on, give me a chance. Give me a chance
it's
over
bread
there
and butter coming here,
Just
Barry.
give me a moment. Look, Ollie was.
He's at bar mitzvahs, he's at birthdays, he's at...
Who, me?
You are, I know you are.
Just rent me. Yeah.
And he sells them.
We'll have to clip that one up. But Barry's right, you are closely associated with the yard.
Yeah, but
a lot of the weightless horses as well.
Just give me a moment, right? So, before Christmas, everything was winning. The last 14, I mean, it's amazing the way it changes. And because I think he's won from 35 over the last 14 days, and for whatever reason, all of a sudden the form of the yard has taken a nosedive. And I would definitely be against Gunsight Ridge in this race for sure, personally. As in, I'm taking him on, and I'm taking him on with up the straight. I'm quite interested about this horse dropping back to 2 mile, you know.
Well, this is the thing. If you watched it at Exeter last time, or if you were connections, I bet that they got to the huddle and went, we've been outstayed there. Because he looked too out like he had long press in some trouble.
We're on about Gunsight Ridge now.
Yeah, this is about Gunsight Ridge, right? So he's £3 higher. Long press is now a candidate for the Turner's Chase, the old Marsh, the JLT. Right, so this, look, £3.
Yeah, it's
this is an
nothing.
absolute
It's-
gift from the
yeah,
gods.
yeah.
You know, this is unbelievable. But this is Gunsight Ridge we're talking about. And I have been told of the last 5 runs, this will win, this will win, this will win. And he works like a proper horse. But you just get the feeling that you could put him up against Denman and he'd go down a neck in work. You know what I mean? And if you watch back, you've got time to do it. It's the 150, you've got 7 minutes. Watch back that replay, telling me, am I right, am I wrong? He definitely has to think about it on the run in. As a lot of horses do at Exeter. They sort of stop and then come back a little bit. For whatever reason, the crowd or the gates or wherever they are, they do look around. He was coming back at the finish again. I'm with the drop back in drip, even around here, not being ideal for him.
But Sandown is not the track you want to be thinking about things, is it?
No, and again, that run-in is, we've watched one chase, haven't we, already? There's been 2 hurdle races there. I can tell you they're around about 40 seconds on the hurdle chase. Always quicker on the chase course, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just because of drainage and all that sort of stuff.
Well, it's because the hurdle track is the flat track, so watered heavily through the summer.
And it can be brutal there, can't
Yeah.
it? The one good thing about today is you want it wet, right, Kate? You don't want it a drying sort of winter's day where it gets gluey and tacky and horrible.
Do you think we make too much of that at times? As in,
Well, you tell us. You used to ride through it.
Because we always go, oh, you want rain on the day and it makes it sloppy
Easier
as
to
such.
pat- to work their
I just
way
don't know
through.
if it has that much
You don't
difference.
think?
Not,
Did you-
not at this time of
in
year.
your
Like
time, yeah.
when the ground, unless we're talking about it being like biblical proportion rain, as in.
Yeah.
I remember riding round Toaster one day when they're standing water, and Warren Marston said the biggest danger was shark attack. But
Yeah.
maybe on that situation. But the ground.
Or
at this
dying
time
of
year-
boredom, to be honest. I've been
ground
waiting
at
for them to get over the last. You'd be like,
The
when is
this
this going to
time of year
happen?
but the ground this time of year is just hard work, full stop.
Yeah, we missed out,
it's
don't we?
it's going to be brutal, especially
All
on
right.
the hurdles.
So look, who's with Gunsight Ridge? Who's against it? I'm against him, having been with him a couple of times. So you know the old sod's law thing. It's going to happen. Kate, you are with him because this is one of your 3 in your column.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah. I'm not going to put the caveat out there that this was a bit of a nightmare of a day, but Gunsight Ridge was one of them. I was just between him and Numitor. For me, they have such a similar profile for
You're
this
going for the
race.
progressive young up-and-comers.
I am. It may be less a Gunsight Ridge and more a Gunsight Cliff, but I will still side with him. Should have had that as a headline, really. shouldn't
Fall
I,
off the
actually?
ridge.
They're all coming
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's it. I've
absolutely.
got very,
Think of one. You're going to have to.
I'm very tabloid, haven't I? All of these
I
headlines.
bet the
for
viewers
these
like
blogs
to
at
do
the
it,
minute.
don't they? They're out there doing their own. If you've got any cliches or anything like that, if you're coming up with names, also
Give me some
get 'em in.
ideas for
Now,
next
Chris
week's
Timms has
column.
come on the show. Chris, great to have you, one of our regulars. Happy New Year, my man. Small each way on Bondoran. Loves the soft and heavy ground. Right, well, you're causing with controversy there because as much as we didn't quite get it right from the Tom George in the first, what was one of the first things you said to me as I came in? I said, I see you put up Gunsight Ridge, Kate. I was trying to wind her up a little bit as I came in the office, actually. She didn't bite and she goes, well, I can't go for Bondoran on this ground.
No, exactly. And we were having this discussion earlier on because didn't you say Tom Segal had actually said he'll love the ground as well?
Yes, Tom Siegel has gone for it.
Yeah, I mean, who am I to crib him? But I do see this horse most days, and he's a big sort of heavy-set horse. But he, in our opinion, he's always wanted quicker ground. On top of the ground, he's got that sort of an action. He's not as quick a horse as he used to be. Hence why I'm concerned about the ground for him, and I'm concerned about the trip for him, being an old boy now.
Do you think he wants further now then?
Yeah.
Just asking,
Yeah.
reading obviously with the computer up, 4 of his 5 wins have come on soft or heavy ground.
Now he does. Now listen, right, so I'm with Kate a little bit on this because on paper he looks totally fine on it. As a young horse, he won going. He hasn't also run right-handed that much, actually. They are down at the start. You've still got time to get your plays on. I'm going with Bondoran as well, just to let you know, with Tom Siegel as well. Price-wise, Supremo. He couldn't lay up. That was the connections, offering last time between... in that, who's the horse that beat him? Editor de Geet, sorry.
Yeah.
Twice, around Cheltenham. He just couldn't lay up, could he?
No.
But there was a moment during the race where I was like, come on, Johnny, get him a bit closer now. This is your chance. And he steams up. I think I did back him top 4 and we got in it, so I was all right in the end. And again, like any punter, you're just, Editor de Geet out there, and I'm like, well, it's the 4th. But I think if he gets into a rhythm over those fences, I think this is his race. I really do.
Because the track is going to be much more suitable.
I think the track will suit him, Kate.
I mean,
Yeah,
Cheltenham,
definitely.
sharp track.
But seemingly there is a bit of an issue about the ground with him, and he's getting on, isn't he? This is my son's favourite horse, Bondoran.
So is this a case of, as he's got older, maybe he's had a few problems and whatever in life, he's actually preferring better ground now than he did when he was younger?
Yeah, it's mainly his action is jumping. He just jumps so much better out of better ground as well.
Look at Chris. He's
You're welcome,
cheers
Chris.
for that vote of confidence there, Kate.
You're hugely
my money's
very
already
welcome.
on. I'm sure there's
Watch
a
him go
Don't
win
cash
now.
out, Chris, whatever you do. Let's
Sometimes
keep
you
the
can
faith.
know too much, though.
Well, we've got to
Sometimes you
beat
can know
Gunsight
too
Ridge,
much
man. This
about
is going to
a
be
horse.
easy, isn't it? What's the posty tip, just quickly?
I did say already, up the straight.
That's the one.
I like the drop back in trip. He's
Richard
a
Rowe.
horse that's travelled well before. He's ran well around Sandown.
For a young lad going places, right? Noel Houlihan.
I think like Richard Rowe.
Oh no, not Captain Rowe.
Noel
no.
Houlihan, good young rider.
We've got one more coming up. Glenn Orry comes on and says, enjoying the show from Trinidad and Tobago. That's a great thing about
Lucky
RP Live, isn't it, Glenn?
Yes.
We
Yeah.
can
Easy
reach you, and if you can't see the action or whatever, this is the place. Raucous reaction, and we'll give you the best real-time post-race analysis in the business.
I hope
Barry,
he's watching with a rum and coke or something.
oh, that'd be
in the
nice, wouldn't
sunshine.
it? That's,
Yeah.
rum and ginger ale's my thing. I went
Really?
to Barbados and Mount Gay and ginger ales, but I can't put it down now.
Diplomatico rum with a bit of ice. I don't mind that either.
Don't.
Is it different in this weather, though? Does it hit different in this weather?
No, definitely not. If anything,
really?
it's a bit
It's
nicer.
the same.
in this
There's a bit of sunshine in
Look,
July.
there's no beach, Kate, but we can always imagine when we're. Glenn, great to have you with us. Barry, where's the money going then after we've been speaking?
Yeah, Numitor. So obviously he's the pace angle here as well, and he could get a soft lead up front on this ground. He's 3.45, so just 5-2. Gunsight Ridge is a 3-1 chance. 5 up the straight. 11 Monsieur de Cup, 8 Moonlighter. That's steady enough for Harry Cobden, and he's one that could be close up as well. And it's 17 bar, but Numerate 4 is very, very strong at the head of the market.
Okay, Barry, thanks very much. He actually was a very, very progressive novice last year. I was asking the guys, do you know, I think he had a speculative entry in last year's article. That's how much they think of him. He has placed around here at Sandown. Of course, it's just whether he goes on the ground or not for me. Moonlight is in here. Paul Keeley, he's at the track today. His banker, actually, Faraday, won the first chase on the card, so watch out for him. This is his last day of drinking as well for a 6 weeks sober stretch, if you believe what he says. But he's going on the draw after this, so honestly, he's just going to be in
Is that a
trouble
usual
tonight.
thing, or is that?
He has done it before. He's just,
Why
but
would you choose this time of year, though?
I think he needs to put down and drink 4 tip in Moonlight next time, doesn't he? But this is a horse that is down in class as well. Monsieur Lecoq. Oh, your horse, Kate.
Oh,
the
don't even get me
Ascot horse.
started. Yes, on the roller coaster of emotions that I went through on this show there when he ran, was it 3 starts ago now, actually, I think,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Monsieur Lecoq. Yeah.
Kieran was on.
Oh, don't even,
had it
Barry,
done.
that doesn't help in any way. Yeah, and last time out, though, he ran rubbish over hurdles.
And he got gubbed,
Last
didn't he,
time
by
out.
Moolah Gold, yeah.
Yeah, no, he did 3 starts
But he does
back.
like this
Oh.
track and trip,
No, he
doesn't
does.
So-
He loves that. Ascot
Sandown,
Sandown.
yeah.
He loves Sandown, and as you say, this trip as well, back over fences, should see him in a much better light than the hurdles at Lingford.
This
last
is
time out.
quite a
Hated
classy
it.
little race, this, isn't it? We could be looking at Grand Daniel hopefuls, I think, after this. This race has often thrown them up. That's for sure. Good luck wherever you are playing. Barry says, Numitor, the one for
A bit
money.
mulish, is he?
Which one?
Paddy's poem just looks a bit mulish. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just,
First time back off the layoff.
The ears on him.
He's got some good Sandown form, though, that chap. Again, the ground, he probably is the right outsider, I think, here. But good luck then over the famous railway fences. Charlie will tell
on
me
for
when
the
that's
lead.
going to happen.
They've
because
lined up 7 across the track.
Oh,
here.
look at
When we
that.
said
Absolutely
there's no
tanking.
pace,
Wasn't
and
gonna get-
Numitor's going to have an easy lead.
And it's great to see under Kieran.
Go on, Bun Bun.
There is Kieran, look.
Oh, Gunsight. Goodness me.
Oh, hang on a minute, your boyfriend's in front here,
Oh,
and you're cheering on another one. That's absolutely showing the true colours, Kate Tracy.
Money talks more so than anything else.
I bet it does in
The
the
end of the
Tracy
day.
household. And
Yeah.
great to see Bundoran flying over that first
If you can make
end.
this into a stamina test, that would be ideal. So I'm happy.
I'm happy to see him taking more of an interest. Numitor on the inside under Tom Skoo. Interesting to see what they think about the ground coming up the home straight. Will it be inside? Will it be outside? It is raining in Isha at Sandown. Taking a real keen tug just behind Chester Williams. Takes over on Monsieur Lecoq. He's in the midfield. Not as keen as Moonlight, however. Harry Cobden having a trouble pulling him. You know that's a definite very keen.
I was just going to ask you,
That is what you would call that pulling hard on a
Right.
comment. There's no
Yeah.
very. We don't like the word very at the Racing Post. And you would say racing freely. That's another. That's harsher than being keen, racing freely.
Right.
You'd very rarely see that out. Or like up the straight, just an enthusiastic hold at the minute. He's out the back. He's settled quite nicely. Like Gunsight Ridge.
giving away all the trade secrets, Dave.
Listen,
they are?
we could do with some staff, to be honest. So if you fancy a go, let us know. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll do that one day. Okay, we're not over the railway fences yet. I'll tell you what, Paddy's poem doesn't fancy it at all. Barry, we're on the far side then of this famous 2-mile track here. What does the market like? Bundoran.
The market likes Moonlighter, would you believe? 4.4 now, Moonlighter. Gunsight Ridge 4, 5-3 numerator after Numitor after not getting that lead. Looks like he could be sulking just a little bit. He's out to 5.7, 6-2 up the straight, 9-4 Monsieur Lecoq. But Moonlighter is challenging Gunsight Ridge for favouritism.
And was challenging Bundoran, but I tell you, has anything jumped better? Bundoran
Don't jinx
is
him.
just beautiful. Don't do the commentator's
Touch
jinx,
wood.
Dave. I
Oh.
should know better than
Good at
this.
this.
Right, when are we coming to the railway fences?
No, we've got the water And then the railway fence.
So one more and then the railway fence is very, very confusing, isn't it? On the back, straight at
Up the
Sandown.
straight, couple of reminders there.
Yeah, he's just being wrenched along, isn't he? Look, at the moment, Bundoran,
Just not enjoying
bless
conditions.
him to pieces, 11 years young, show him the way to jump.
sweet.
I like the way that he just went away from Harry Cobden a bit on Moonlight as well, because they tend to soften him up.
6-4 Gunsight Ridge now.
Yeah, he's on the inside. They never
They're
learn
getting
these
close to
punters,
getting
do they?
matched.
They never learn these punters. This is the railway fences.
First, the railway fence.
These are the ones. Now, how will Gunsight appreciate these? He was a little bit fiddly there, Posty, was he?
Paddy's poem right out to his left.
Yeah, Monsieur Lecoq not on a going day today, and up the straight just doesn't really fancy it.
I was
A
just
really
about to
good
say,
jump by
yeah.
Gunstrike Ridge there. The last of the railway fences.
Last of the railway fences.
Brilliant. Come on,
Only 3 of them
Bundoran.
count here.
Good
now.
boy,
Tell you what, Bundoran is absolutely winging this. So
Moonlight is jumping a lot straighter than we normally expect for him around a right-handed track, isn't he? He normally jumps off to his left. Can win around a
3-2
right-handed
Gunsight.
the problem with
Gunsight
him,
Ridge.
Moonlight, who's been on a going day. So 3 are going
Yeah.
clear, led by Bundoran at the
Mid
minute.
evens.
Rolling back the years. He
We're
hasn't been
done.
on-
We're matched at evens.
Oh, we're
We're matched at evens. Happy days.
Ah.
Right, now look
Gunsight
at
Ridge.
Barry's faces, because this is
Now the race can
Gunsight.
begin.
Absolutely. So when are they going to press on? We're coming up to the world famous pond fence.
We are coming up to the world famous pond fence. It's just going to be interesting to see here whether they've gone hard enough through the early stage of this race. And like even Numitor and up the straight is just about keeping tabs on them.
Lashing
Gunsight
rain.
Ridge
How's it going?
just about to hit the front.
So Bundoran, he's holding him together, Kieran Gethings, but he
Bundoran.
flew that. I tell you what, this is wonderful. Now, if I was Aidan Coleman, you're going to try and break Bundoran right now, aren't you? The two of them are going on. Moonlighter at the moment. You've got to try and disappoint him, I think.
I know,
But
Moonlighter's
Gunsight Ridge,
still-
when he gets to the front,
Come on,
does he like
Gunsight.
it up him? Okay,
Lovely
2 out.
point.
Come on, Bundoran, let's put it up.
Oh,
And
I
this
don't
is
know who to
Gunsight
choose.
Ridge we got here. One thing Bundoran will do is
Money
keep
talks.
going.
Come on, Gunsight.
But here comes Gunsight Ridge. Unbelievable. She's going against her boyfriend.
Gunsight.
This is unbelievable. This is why Kate's got ahead so far in the industry. And we're going to the last. Over they go. Come on, Kieran.
Gunsight.
I'm with Kieran.
No,
I'll be having
no,
dinner
I
with him
don't
tonight if he
know.
comes up. Gunsight Ridge got his
No,
measure at the
Gunsight.
moment. He's gone though. Is this
He's
going to be his
wandering.
day? He's wandering all over the
No,
place.
he wins.
But Bundoran, he's
Straighter,
kept it
straighter.
together.
Oh,
Aidan
Bun, you
Coleman, a
little
double
legend.
on the day. Bundoran run his heart out in second, but he has
on,
just
Gunsight.
bumped into that younger rival. Well
Ollie
done,
Murphy on the
Kate
inside.
Tracy.
What to do?
Punching, yeah.
Ollie Murphy punching
Yeah.
you. He's finally got it
Watching from the
right.
inside, doesn't he?
Wow, that was exciting, Barry Orr. He had a little think about it, but the punters, they knew as they would jump the rail fences.
Only 2 of them counted from a long way out. That ground must be really, really attritional, and it looks like it's absolutely pouring there. Bundoran hit a low of 2.12, so just 11 to 10. Bundoran. That's the only real in-running news, because very few of them got into it, Dave. Once Numitor didn't get the lead, he drifted out immediately. Monsieur Lecoq ran a stinker. Moonlighter didn't get home. Paddy's poem. Gunsight Ridge. Worthy winner for Ollie Murphy, and good luck to them. Well done, guys, in the studio.
Yeah, and isn't that funny? We watched Kate Tracy about a month ago at Ascot when Kieran Gethings, funnily enough, Monsieur Lecoq was the horse who was in this race, go clear after the last. Come on, Kieran. Come on, Kieran.
Is that what I sound like?
she got
Thank
stuck.
you.
This time, I mean, could you imagine an argument with those two in the house?
And to quote, that's why she gets on in the industry.
Yes.
Well, look, clear head with the head and not the heart. Listen.
Harsh comments from the
Well,
man in the
look,
studio.
what I'm
No,
saying is I'm impressed, Kate, because
Be cold-hearted about this game. You have to put all your bias, all your
I am
emotion
impressed.
out the window. You have to be cold-hearted, and luckily
the
it's actually
mischievous
prevailed.
Dave Orton was hoping
Yeah.
from 2
Ruthless.
out that Kieran would really show you what you're missing with Bundoran
Yeah.
there. But
I know, soft ground may well suit him after all.
well, I just think he's done the donkey work, hasn't he? He's been softened up a little bit by Moonlighter. But the way Bundoran jumps is he's still there, he's back.
Sandown.
Lovely.
It's
Great.
really,
Yeah.
there will be a race for this horse. He's
Stamina
such a
test.
nice animal, Bundoran.
It's so cool.
And the two of them come way clear, and with Numitor didn't like the ground whatsoever. Up the straight, bit disappointing, really.
He just looked at you'd start to begin to wonder if up the straight looks tripless, to be honest, because over 2.5 he seems to travel over strong and not see it out, and back down in trip today he didn't seem to have enough toe to go early.
Yeah, I jumped off Gunsight Ridge. A lot of people did. Barry did as well. Paul Keeley, if you're watching some of the feature shows we were doing throughout the week, has been saying this is not the time. I'm not sure about it. But in fairness, Aidan Cole's been really strong in there. And you mentioned that Murphs was on the infield there. And this would mean a lot to him, because it must be so frustrating when you have a horse of this talent that doesn't put it together.
I mean,
when
if
you
we
need
get
it
to see it, I mean, he was absolutely giving it the big air punch as he walked on back up the hill. He's off to Dubai this evening, you know, the trainer's life. So I mean, that'll Look at him go there.
Surprised you're not in the luggage. It's surprised you're not got along in the luggage and all that sort of thing.
Look, someone has to stay here, like producing the stars of the future, don't they? You know?
Absolutely. So listen, if you want to know what the stars of the future are with Poste, of course, let him know. Get your questions in for Paul. But Damon Moffat, one of our usual, I could see you out there in the chat box, Damon. You're basically saying another Keels Cliff Horse goes in. Gunsight Ridge, get in. And when we spoke to Murph just before Christmas, he said, I actually put it to him, I did a bit of homework, looked at the stats, and January does stand out for the yard. Since he started training, his profit is through the roof in January compared to other months. He said, I'm now inoculating.
They've gone a lot better, though, this year, haven't they, consistently, like early in the season? I mean, last year was a bit of he ended up with 80-odd winners, but it wasn't great early in the year.
A lot of punters have accused Murph's horses of tailing off. Promising start. Brewing Up a Storm would be almost a very good case in point. Everyone fancied him for an Arkle, when he started going over fences. And although he is a very good horse, he probably should have won the Royal Kills. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
definitely. I mean,
he Stormy Island, she wouldn't stop him, was she?
No,
I don't know.
Well,
I honestly,
to be honest,
that is one of those.
Keeping the horses at the same level throughout the season is a real art form, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're on about them giving them the flu vaccinations.
That's what he's done.
In January, yeah. But
So he's
which
changed
Paul
his
Nichols
MO a
does
bit.
and Dan does, and they have an easy month now,
So
relatively.
he said, I don't want to, put.
But this horse
won't
won't have been. This horse won't have had a flu back.
No, of course, because he won't be running. They
exactly.
can't run. They get
7 days after the flu back,
That's
but then you tend to give them an easy couple of weeks of exercise because a bit like us when you have a vaccine, it can make you feel a little under the weather,
We'll come to Barry with that because Betfair ambassador Paul Nichols is in Barbados as usual, isn't he, Barry? And we don't really expect a lot from the champion trainer in January, do we?
I wouldn't expect him to have many runners. No. Obviously, the vast bulk of the string would have been inoculated with the flu jab, like he does every year. He's no secret of that, and he takes I think a week or 10 days off and heads away to sunnier climes. And he's done that again this year, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course. He used to go out and see the late Andy Stewart, of course, didn't he?
Dan Skelton is also on holiday.
In Barbados?
No, I think he's gone to Dubai as well.
Has he?
Ollie
Right.
Murphy's off this evening.
What are we all still doing here, basically?
I bet those boys in Barbados.
No one left up your neck of the woods, Charlie.
It's lonely, Barry, honestly. If you fancy a pint, let me know.
Why do you think he gets the big bucks? All right, shall we go back to Wincanton? We've got the 205 here, and this has been a really interesting race for tipsters, that's for sure. I wanted to nap in it when I did a feature show yesterday. Thankfully, Paul Keeley's Glajou, who he napped, is a non-runner. That put me on to something called Martello Sky that won earlier at Sandown. But I was going to nap in this on the show until Charlie Poste came in. Was rather confident about the second favourite.
Yeah, I'm following another Anthony Honeyball runner at Wincanton.
Belle de Menache.
Yeah, very impressive over this track at Wincanton on Chase debut. Up 10, but the Honeyball horse are in really good form. And yeah, I really, really like this mare for this. Yeah, my nap of the day.
Nap of the day. Barry, what do you make of that? And is there a play in the 205?
Yeah, she's an improving mare, isn't she? But Grey Diamond with Jack Tudor claiming a valuable 3 off the top weight and a keen front runner. Heads to market at 4.1, 5.1 Belle de Menache. Just drifting out ever so slightly. 7.6 another crick. Out in the pairs, 7.4, 9.2 Majestic Merlin. I like Grey Diamond. I thought that run behind Il Redito was pretty decent in Newbury last time out. Numitor was second now, hasn't franked the form, but you'd forgive him that run on that ground. Third, he was beaten 5 lengths behind Mula Gold and Monsieur Lecroc the time before that. I just like the idea that he could get off in front and get a soft lead here because there's absolutely no pace on here at all. So he's currently 4.0. Kate, I think we're going to be a price maker here. We'll look to back him at 4.1. So if you select the odds, pump it up to 4.1. We're looking to have 50 quid on him at 4.1. That'll go into the pink box, the lay section for someone to come in and lay it if it isn't already matched.
All right, okay, fair enough. I like Grey Diamond. This is going to be my nap of the weekend, actually, for Sam, Welsh National. He's now in your parish, isn't he, having won a Welsh Grand National? Yeah. What did you make of that horse that won the Welsh Grand National?
It's brilliant.
Slam job, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Stan Shepherd as well. Big
I
day
will
for
do
him.
it, of course. Yeah, Stan Shepherd, yeah. He's sort of used to ride for his dad a lot, didn't he? And he's now, where would he be?
Tom Lacey.
Lacey.
He's basically a stable jockey at Tom Lacey's now. So as in hopefully that'll continue to last for him, and he's going from strength to strength. Yeah. I think as well, like another Welsh national winner that won the trial at the beginning of the month there, as in it seems quite a good trend that.
I mean, more and more an indicator, isn't it now, the actual trial, which is good to see. That's what it's there for. So yeah.
I like a Grey Diamond here, Kate. This chap's got Jack Tudor on. And Santos 1-3-1 is a mark he can definitely win. He ran really well at Newbury last time, and I've got a feeling this one wants to go right-handed. He's got everything in his favour. He was 6-1 when the market opened up, and I did one of those things, viewers out there, where I thought I'd just back him on the day. That's a really, really good price. Put him up to a few people. Woke up this morning, of course, first thing, saw he was into 11-4 before the non-runners. So.
3 non-runners, Dave, it's worth pointing out as well. There's 3 non-runners in the race.
He was
And people
well punted
obviously
before that,
listen to
Barry.
you.
But yeah, there are, absolutely. There was another couple of horses I like in here as well. Another Crick is a horse I like, but I think the ground might have gone for him. He ran third behind Jetois, who's going to run in the Tolworth, and he always warms up over hurdles, another Crick, and then goes over fences. Nice horse. He's a danger, but not on this ground. Kate, who did you like?
Yeah, no, I was with Belder Manesh as well. I hope, as Barry said, there isn't an obvious amount of pace in this race, which might mean that Grey Diamond gets an uncontested lead. However, I hope that with Belder Manesh, they revert back to her previous tactics where she did used to go forwards and try and make all.
Yeah.
So she loves Wincanton, as we know, and when you've got a mare that loves the track, it often pays dividends to send them back to that track as well.
Yes.
She won at Wincanton on Boxing Day 2020, gained her next and latest win on her next run then at Wincanton. That was making a chase debut, winning that by 14 lengths over 2 mile 4 again on Boxing Day. And that form looks pretty likeable because Precious Eleanor, who was second, ran a good race for time before then, went second to subsequent New Year's Day Grade 3 handicap chase winner Vienna Court. So that form is likeable. She tramps her rivals, which means she can defy the £10 rise, moves into open company, takes on the boys, but we know she goes well at this track.
That Vienna Court form is sizzling, isn't it? The breathing form book that is Kate Tracy. That's what
Very
we call
much
her.
so.
Very much so, and an eloquent case as ever from Kate, who's on a quick double, of course. I need to do a bit of catching up, 2 races down. This could be Pandoran. I thought was going to get there, but I'm pretty confident about Grey Diamond here. So we're head to head here. We like this, don't we?
Love it.
We absolutely love it. I still got this memory of walking in. This is when I come alive, Dave, he said in the weather, as it was battening down. I said, "Should we get a coffee?" Went into the coffee shop, glasses up here and all that sort of
Steamed up,
stuff.
weren't they?
Oh, it really is that sort of weather. But here we are in January. It could be a lot worse, I suppose. And a tricky day's racing. But you have been shown some winners already, and we get confident as we go on. We're not far away from Constitution Hill at Sandown, are we? What is he going to do to the Supreme Market? Is he a genuine player? Paul Keeley definitely thinks so. A lot of you out there win 148 for that, on a debutant. It doesn't happen usually. So exciting horse coming up, isn't it, Sandown?
Oh, massively, yeah.
Great sees colours, isn't it? Michael Buckley's
Yeah.
colours. After Spirit Sun, who remembers Spirit Sun that was supposed to be the next coming, in that wonderful Supreme, featuring Sprinter Sacre and Alpha Off. Of course, he didn't go on. He was ill-fated, unfortunately. But it'd been great to see Michael. I think he's watching from Florida, isn't he? So, and of course,
I think he and Nicky
Iceland
together had a couple of winners of the Tolworth before, haven't they?
They have. Royal Boy being one.
Good
Yeah.
memory.
And another New York, something called New York. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, Royal Boy, I remember, was a pretty good horse. If the talk is right at 7 Barrows, this could even be the number 1 come Supreme time. I know they've got John Bonham, haven't they? Obviously, so John Bonham looks like he might go to Haydock. We're
I
hearing.
think that's what
Yeah,
I heard.
that's what
Yeah,
they
I
said.
He
think
loves
that's
that
the
meeting,
latest.
Hendo does, which
Yeah.
is people knock Nicky, don't they, a lot, but that Haydock meeting is always usually heavy. But he
Exactly.
runs his horses there.
And he's happy to run them there, like say, in those conditions. So
Yeah, let's hope the governor's isolating
Jack
nice
Tudor
and well.
doesn't look like he's that bothered about getting to the front here. Sure, he
Oh,
doesn't. The way
wonderful.
they're lining up.
You really
Oh
don't
wait, neither
like
does
this.
Belder
Neither
Manesh.
does
You
Oh,
Belder.
no.
really don't like this jockey, Barry.
Neither does
He's put one on him already. Well, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, you would have thought. I mean, Sam Thomas thinks about these race tactics a great deal.
Yeah, and there's a
And-
good record around Wincanton, so he knows how it works
It's a
and
good
rides.
point, isn't it? Do you think the jocks know that? I mean, in that last race, they were. It was like, well, I want the lead, but I want the lead, but I want the lead, and Bundoran grabbed it, didn't he? So, do you think we're going to see that here?
Looks like the Master Eel is keen to get forward along with another Crick.
Out on the tears,
Out
another
on the
horse that's
tear,
up there. He's obviously Rico Boy coming back from a layoff. He doesn't want any
Here
of
we
it
go.
whatsoever. And Jack Tudor is going to watch from rear as they jump off. And good luck wherever you're playing. A third of our races. 2:05, another 2 mile, fast and furious for you out there. And 4 are going for the lead. Majestic Merlin just about comes up in front on the tear. Hit that one. Not good for him. The last time out winner at Catterick. A track he absolutely loves. And another Crick, a bit keen, wide on the outside. Desk Delille is up there as well. Followed then by Belder Manash for Kate and Charlie in the studio. Nap for the Grey on Charlie. And Grey Diamond is right upside him as well. And the returning Rico Boy as well. Dr. Richard Newland's got the unexposed outside it in the Tolworth coming up as well. So a big half an hour for him. Okay, early impressions, Charlie Poste.
Just a muddling sort of gallop early, I would say. Destalil, though, has pulled his way to the front with Ned Fox and doing plenty now in front. And I'd say the ones following on will be delighted about this injection of pace, to be fair, especially Jack
Ned
Tudor.
Fox. I've seen him on a couple of Venetia's horses.
Yeah, Venetia's really supporting him well, isn't she? And he has had a fair few winners now.
It's a good name, isn't it? Ned Fox.
Yeah, strong name.
If you went to a point-to-point, you didn't know much about the jockeys, you'd be, I like the sound of Ned Fox.
Him.
So claiming 10.
Have you ever gone anywhere and backed something because of the name of the jockey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
I've been to Garrison Savannah, man, in Barbados. Absolutely, yeah. I went to a Welsh national once, backed Oscar Mountainous because of the jockey.
No, you backed the wrong one then, because I was going to bow by.
Oh, yeah, I always get that wrong. I always get that wrong. But you're right. Now, this is, we can agree on, a very keen.
There you go.
And you just see how he keeps
I would put very in the
You would allow very for this
See how he
one.
tries to keep re-grabbing the reins, which is not a great thing to be
then
doing,
it just
because every
pushes
time he
them on
does
again.
this, just
I love it when the coach
encourages the
comes
horse
out and he's
to accelerate.
Oh, you'd be looking forward to this in the debriefing room at the BHA coaching, wouldn't you? You'd be
Massively,
let's get this Ned Fox right up. But Barry, this is being run away with. It can't last it out, can it?
I would be very surprised if he does, regardless of how much the trainer's horses like soft ground. He's been run away with very much so here, but it's in the 4.8 in the exchange. Grey Diamond, your favourite though, at 3.25. Who knows? They're not looking at the same race as me. Belda Manesh out to 11, hasn't jumped the fence so far.
Whoa. Oh my goodness.
5.9 out on the tear.
Grey Diamond nearly took the fence with him, Barry, so you're right. Isn't it strange sometimes, this exchange out there? We would be, I mean, he's actually now getting to put the brakes on Ned Fox a little bit. The horse is starting to respect the fences a little bit more. It's a sketchy jump out there. And Belton and Manesh gone to the back as well.
You've been taken off her feet, to be honest, by this
Out the tear's your
pace.
favourite now.
Yeah.
It's just got the box seat, I suppose, Barry, and has done the best round of jumping so far and has kind of settled the best. Okay, for Sam Allwood and Charlie Price. Know a bit about Charlie Price?
Yeah, nice rider. Yeah. And Sam Allwood, he's ride plenty for him. I think he's connected to Tim Vaughan's
I
yard.
was going to say.
Okay, all right. So we are going out onto the final lap for 3 of 8 races we're bringing in this afternoon on Racing Post Live. Great to see the chat boxes going up out there. Tolworth is approaching, guys, isn't it? Again, let us know what you're thinking about Constitution. I can see a few coming in, Shifty Lad and Ricky T and all those guys. We will give you a shout out soon enough. All right, but here we are then.
Turning in, 3 to jump.
Destilio is
I'll tell you what,
completely folded.
Destilio's gone, as expected, surely.
Grey Diamond.
Yeah, come on, Grey Diamond. Despite that horrible jump, I'm expecting his...
on the one in front, Dave.
This is out on the tear. He's just got stolen the march, hasn't it? Okay, the handicap has put him up for that category win last time, but this is a horse that's really going forward.
Oh, here's the top weight now.
And more to the point. Come on, I'll tell you what, we're not out. Even Destilio's trying to come back in. Look at Rico Boy coming, the outsider. He hasn't run for 296 days. Grey Diamond on the inside, making really heavy weather of this. Okay, another Crick, I think, now going to come up on top. It's all changed. Here, Jack. Rico Boy on the outside. Charlie Hammond. It's got more letters, I think, next to his name. He's just filling its lungs down. Another Jack. Crick running all over the place. Come on, Jack, what do we got? What's going to happen here? Oh, my goodness. And we've gone. Grey Diamond looked like he was just about to take it up on the running. Jack Tudor, spread eagle all over the place. On landing, another Crick just about doing enough, isn't he? Rico Boy runs a stormer on his return, but not good enough. Out on the tear. It was his to lose, turning in Barry, and he did just that.
Out in the tear. Out in the tear, hit a low in running. Just looking at that fall again. Out in the tear, hit a low running of 1.68, so 6-4 on. Grey Diamond, who I don't know whether he would have given the weight to the winner. He was straight at a low 135, so 3-1 on Grey Diamond. Interesting. He just seemed to land a bit steep, didn't he? He wasn't a hard fall. He just landed a bit steep and spread eagled on landing. But another Crick horse that I think we said had no chance. Well, you did anyway, Dave, not me.
Hey, hang on a minute. If you go back, I think you'll find it was rather different to that. I said I wasn't sure about him on the ground. But no, this is a nice horse, and Noel Williams had to be very patient with this chap, and he was nearly as good as running in Grand Annuals and things like that, so that's put himself back and maybe for one of the spring festivals. Good to see he was running around all over the place, wasn't he, late on, which suggests he had a fair bit in the locker. Grey Diamond would have put it up to him, Kate, do you think? Or?
I think so. Yeah, I think he was given a really lovely ride there, to be fair, because it was a real muddling race, wasn't it? It was everything. Of course, we had Destilio, who basically ran away, then faded, and then it looked as though out on the tear when he was trading low and running there, that he may have just kicked that bit too soon with a long way still to run in testing conditions, and then Grey Diamond's landed steeply, done everything to save himself. I'm happy to see he's okay. He didn't actually go down. Belly touched the floor. Would that go down as well? I don't know.
No, that's a
What would that go
mistake,
down as?
but it's blundered basically.
Yeah,
Right,
just
see,
a
the
blunder.
horse was pretty sloppy there. Like, it didn't really do that much wrong and sort of overtook
Would you be
itself.
livid?
See that Wincanton?
I'd be pretty irritated.
You'd
yeah.
be-
Yeah, but just horrible portable fences.
Belden and Ash,
Yeah,
quick
yeah,
word on
yeah.
her because she caught
Didn't
my
jump.
eye on the head on.
But very easy when like because she didn't jump. I think Rex Dingle accepted his fate.
And she'd come on quite well, didn't
yeah,
she?
I'd say she had been beat about 7 or 8 lengths.
If she doesn't go over a bit further again next time, you'd be amazed. But of course, she was down in Triple.
But you'd be fancying her again next time.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Over
Yeah,
2.5,
yeah. And you might get a bit of value out there as well. So that's what you get her on this show, some eye catch as well. If you get a project that's beaten like Gunsight Ridge, we all jumped off it, or a lot of us did, and you see what happens. Stick with them sometimes. You've got to use your eyes, even in defeat as well. We can analyse these races. All right, then. We have a bit of a breather coming up. Before the Grade 1 of the day. It is the Tolworth Hurdle, which had a bit of a renaissance with the Supreme, of course, in 2016 and 2018. Somerville Boy, I think, was the last horse that went on to win it, of course, and go on to victory in the Supreme Novice Hurdle. Will we see that with Constitution Hill? That's the question. So we've got a little bit of a breather coming up. Let us know what you think about that. Come on, build the chat. We'll give you a shout on who we think will win the Supreme, whatever, what we think is going to happen in this race. Who might win in the without market? Is it a lay even for some people out there? Was it a flash in the pan, as Nicky said it might be? Let us know. We will do this. But we had a great start to New Year's Day. Last year, it was. I didn't even know whether we were crossing years with lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. This time, we felt, the optimism's there. Welcome to 2022. Cheltenham was on, of course, this time around, and we all banged in some winners. None more so than our big hitter from Dublin, of course, who made an eloquent case for a David Maxwell horse called Dolphin Square. Shall we see what happened last week? Come on up we get. What's it going on the exchange? I don't think he's going to get there, Barry. He's doing the shit now. He's on the rail. Come on, Maxwell. Come on, also. Can you do this? On the road. 2022 is here. We're absolutely loving life in the Open Studios.
That is class.
Barry, absolutely fantastic. Well, it was the honours list, of course, Barry, over Christmas as well. And a lot of people were saying he should be knighted, Sir Barry Orr.
It's the other end of the scale from poor Kate Tracey watching Monsieur Lecoq getting nutted by a mool of gold in Ascot, isn't it? It's the agony and ecstasy of sport, but it's important to cheer the winners when you have them because they can be few and far between sometimes in this game. But all credit to David Maxwell. He gave the horse a great ride. He gets a great tune out of the horse. He puts his money in, and you can't begrudge him that. He's a good asset to horse racing, that's for sure.
We have Matty Batch in the studio, as you saw as well. He absolutely loved that. Go on, Maxie, and all that sort of stuff. But the week before, he got a horse called Cat Tiger beat by a nose. And even Batch, who occasionally, I don't want to throw Batch under the bus, but occasionally Batch has been a little bit critical. And he said, I felt for him there because it wasn't like he could do about that. And he tried to galvanise him back on the run-in. And punters over the years have absolutely whacked David Maxwell to stick, haven't they? He rides his own horses, of course. And that's what he wants to do. He's a very successful
Surely, though,
guy.
yourself as a punter, you're factoring that into your betting.
You
no?
really ought to do
Like-
it. You really ought to do it.
Factored into the price of the horse, Charlie,
Yeah, but also from you as a punter, Barry, you've got to take that on board, haven't you? As in that you're not going to be
course you do,
getting
yeah.
maximum assistance.
But he
from
has
the
big
saddle.
trainers, Barry, doesn't he? And some of these horses, they find races for him. These ex-French things, Kate, for example, that come on vastly superior form. And sometimes he rides a lot of odds-on shots. Hunter chases as well, and they don't always win. And of course they don't. Not often is the word Corinthian bandied about. But that was one time when he got it absolutely right, and he shoved it to the doubters. ITV loved it. We loved it here at the Post. Everyone, it was great to see, wasn't it?
It was, and especially because of what a peach of a ride he gave Dolphin Square as well. When, as you say, the amount of abuse he got the week prior, was it, for a Cat Tiger?
Yeah.
And it's just always the case whenever David Maxwell gets beat on most things in a short, in a close finish or on an odds-on shot, it's straight away. The point is, it's all Maxwell's fault. It has to have been him because he is only, as you say, an amateur in the sport. Then, rather than any other variables that might have been factored in that you may overlook had it have been a professional jockey. And as you say, it's factored into the price. Surely, as a punter, you look at all the different variables. He is one of the variables, and he gets a lovely tune out of his horses. And he learned a few years ago, really, didn't he, sort of to stop trying to give backhanders, and it's actually proven to him to be more effective in his riding style, to actually push them out, focus on them in front, keeping his balance there in the plate, and not to sort of go for the stick behind the saddle. And that's really helped him, and he's improved in so many ways, such as that.
And listen, Barry put up 42 shots, so we started the year on an absolute high. And what I loved about it was it was everything that epitomises Cheltenham for me. Just they look like they're gone. It was Kansas City Chief on it. And Vicky Malzo. It was great to see two amateur riders.
She gets on with that horse so
the new
well.
star of Jersey, much to Batch's dismay. But
she gives. That was a very good ride again.
Yeah.
she's always
again.
overlooked in the market. That horse is back. He's a veteran, isn't he?
Was he 13 now, I think?
Neil Mulholland's done extremely well. He ran an absolute sledge, didn't he? So that was one of the highlights already on New Year's Day. What a jump season we've got coming for you. What a 2022 we have for you here at the Racing Post, especially on Saturdays with Racing Post Live, where all being well, we will be with you every Saturday. The first terrestrial race, around about 15 minutes before, sometimes a little bit before that as well. Great to have our regulars. If you're new, welcome along. Let's hope you're back in a few winners. Let's hope you're having fun, first and foremost, as well. Safe gambling in 2022 is the MO. Christmas was expensive, wasn't it, guys? We want you to see the Cheltenham Festival, that is for sure. So, this is a tricky one, isn't it, with that in mind, Barry? What do we do? Sit out or...?
I fancy one without the favourite here, Dave. I think he's a horse. He's 2 for 2 since he's gone over hurdles. He's improving all the time. He's remarkably consistent as well, having been placed in bumpers. He's never been out of the first three. I don't think we can oppose the favourite. I was in Sandown on Betfair Tyndall Creek Day when he won the opening race, and he just looked an absolute monster. And this finishing sectionals where he's got it on the clock as well. May not have beaten a whole lot, but he was just so impressive. I don't think the ground's going to be a massive inconvenience to him, because if it was, I don't think they'd run him, because Nicky Henderson's not there and the owner's not there. So it wouldn't take a fizz out to take him out and find another option for him. So I think they're confident in going to ground. He's 1.42, so he's 2 to 5. Currently 7 to 2, second favourite for the Supreme Novices Hurdle on the 15th of March. I like a horse in the without market, like I said. I like That's All Right, Gino. We saw him on the show. His game as a pebble win in Cheltenham last day. He devoured the hill and was going away at the finish, although the winning distance is only a neck. He was good value for that as well. I think he'll go on the ground. He's by a German horse that stands in France now that has bred plenty of horses that like a bit of give underfoot. He's a crazy 28 on the win market. So what we're going to do here, Kate, we're going to have a tenner on him at 28 in the win market.
Cool.
I think that's it, just in case anything were to happen to the favourite.
A tenner on him, Barry.
A tenner on him in the win market at 29 he is now. And then if you go to the without market, so on the left-hand side, if you scroll down to without favourite and you click on that,
here is it.
the market will populate and he's 7.0. So he's a 6 to 1 chance to win the race, or if the favourite wins and we come second to him, we still get paid. It's 2 chances of winning. We're going to have 40 quid on him at whatever price is there, 7.2. Happy to take that. We're going to have 40 quid on him there at 7.2.
7.2 then, yeah.
Great stuff. All right, the ground will be the one unknown for him. It was good to soft, of course, when he won on Tingle Creek Day. Probably slightly, winter good to soft, of course. He hasn't been on that. I spoke to Ryan Potte yesterday about Jetois. A lot of people fancy him in the without market. It's all about the without market here, isn't it? Yeah. Spoke to Ryan Potte and he said, well, the form of his point-to-point, Dave, wasn't very good. In fact, the horse that beat him, now runs for John Jones and Gay Smith, has been beaten 3 times in novice hurdles since going under rules. You get the feeling after the first defeat they may have had a handy... It's ended at Catterick next Thursday, so look out for that. Could be potentially chucked in, couldn't it? So perhaps the form will start to get some nice substance about it now. Before we talk about the favourite, you like one in the without as well, Posty?
Yeah, Mr. Glass. I mean, but as Barry said, Paul Nicholls is not going to have many runners through this month, but obviously this is one that hasn't had the flu jab and has been kept back to have a go at this race.
Yeah.
I think he lacks a bit of class, to be honest. He's a bit of just a resolute galloper.
The handicapper agrees with you, because despite the fact that he's won 4 since his bumper debut,
he's only marked 129.
129, which the form of his 2 races hasn't worked out at all.
No, it hasn't at all.
But if you look at him in the flesh, I know people that have seen him in the flesh, some good judges up north, and they said he's such a good-looking horse, this. Embryonic, typical Nicholls chaser. Nicholls had 6 runs in the past decade in this, hasn't won it. Noland, of course, did win it. Before winning the Super
he had a
League.
good record before.
He did.
Yeah.
He used to run a very good horse here. And he's back from 2 miles 6, this horse, isn't he?
So the fact that he stays further,
it's going to help him in this.
It's going to be a massive plus, because this is going to be very attritional.
He's
Going
a
back to the favourite, Blue Brazil is a side that's sort of on the up at the moment.
Here we go. You like this one? Because sometimes you can be a little bit.
I was a bit lukewarm, but we've had a few through the yard recently that they seem to have a lot more quality, and they're pretty effective on slow ground. So, in theory, on pedigree, and I actually rode the Dam as well, Queen of the Stage, and she was okay on slow ground, and so I don't see any reason why this horse shouldn't handle conditions.
Did you win on it?
No.
No. All right. Okay. We'll move on from that one. Should you have won on it? Was she a yakety yak, or was it a don't look
Actually,
back?
she was actually all right. I mean, she was better once Nick Williams trained her. I
So
think.
you had a shocker, basically. Okay, all right. So Mr. Glass in the without for Poste. That's all right, Gino. I'm with Barry. Massive prize. Really surprised about this. Beat a horse that I fancied last time out. Very, very well indeed, called JPR1. And it just kind of was one going away. Whether JPR1 might be the better horse going forward for the Tizzards, we'll find out. Some very interesting horses in here, though, as well. The outside is quite interesting. Kate was smart on the flat. We've just seen Dr. Richard Newland go close with the horse coming off a break. Interesting move this for WizKid. Paul Keeley's had a few quid on this, I can tell you as well.
Yeah, it's fascinating because, isn't it, the fact that Dr. Richard Newland is sending this lad here for his British stable hurdle debut, the ultimate chucking in at the deep end, really, because he was previously trained in Germany with a few different yards, winning twice in Germany, then twice in France. And then the latest win of which was his penultimate start over a mile 4. He reached an RPR of 103, sold €40,000. Who knows? I'm happy to observe him, but it is fascinating that he's in here.
Who wins in the without market?
Oh, goodness. See, I was so wanted to play this race with the without market, and then I kind of got to that point and I was like, oh, what do I do now?
It's almost like 7-2 the field in the without market, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it is. I think for interest points now that we've named the rest of the horses, I'll go for Shall We Have One More in the hope that he settles. I mean, he is authorised, but...
Glad someone's mentioned this bloke. Yeah,
He
didn't
could
he
do
look good on
anything
his
here.
debut at Kempton? And I asked Matty Batch after this chap run to pinpoint me a novice that would end up at the Cheltenham Festival, and this was the one he came out with. It just pulled so hard, didn't it?
Yeah. So hopefully it's just knocked the edge off of him, that reappearance start. But,
Yeah.
you know, in these kind of conditions here, if he really does try and take on Constitution Hill, he could either fall in a hole or he could prove his own engine and he could run second best of the rest then.
Look at him going down, though.
Yeah, I know. That's maybe not
his
the
head
edge.
This could be another
sideways.
very,
Sweaty
couldn't
as
it?
well, is he?
This could be another
He's just
very.
surely a speed horse.
Very, very
Yeah.
talented. Must have him pulling their hair out at the moment. Right, what do you think out there? We asked for some socials. Very old selection you can see in the without is the That's All Right, Gino. Who's going to come on? Let's have a look in the corner. Chris Timms comes back and says, Jatois 72 without the fab for me. Very progressive horse. Ryan Potter said to me yesterday, quiet as a mouse in the yard. The moment you put a jockey on his back, wants to go. So it could be interesting. You know, the Gary Moore horse and Jatois will be getting on with it. He's coming back in trip, but he's only got one way of running this. They think he's Cheltenham material. Okay, Mally Draycott, good to have you back, Mally. Happy New Year. Says WizKid. Looks interesting. Get a chance, a couple of quid for a laugh. Well, all right. Kate had no idea I was throwing WizKid to her then.
I have no idea.
A right old spotlight there. It's everything we love about Kate Tracy, and you have had the word there. Paul Keeley in the without market has had a good go at this one as well. And Paul Bakewell comes back on. Good to see you, Paul. Constitution Hill looks good. Right-handed will probably win, but I'd be cautious for Cheltenham. Should have aimed at a left-handed track for his prep. Listen, if you win, Paul, like you did on Tingle Creek Day, this is almost like a gimme Group 1, isn't it? Like a gimme. He had to run here, didn't he? But would you be like Paul afterwards and worry about that maybe? Would you like to see him have another run after this? Tricky, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, at the end of the day, he hasn't proved that he won't go left-handed. So
What's that about, Paul? Let us know. Come back in maybe after the race.
I'd be interested to know if there's more to that.
Yeah, we'd like to hear about that, Paul. Let us know after the race. Why not the left-handed thing? Did you see something on that debut that made you think Sandown absolutely right? Well, we're going to find out. Okay, thanks for coming on, guys. All of you out there, this is where the exciting class moment gets to. And Barry Jatois looks like he's going to do what we expected him to do, jump out in front. How is the favourite looking on the exchange?
Yeah, 145 now, Dave. So 1.43. So 4-9. Had been 4-11 at one stage. So, you know, punters are a little bit wary with this ground. 7.2. Should we have one more? 13, Mr. Glass. Jatois, 17.5. 38. That's all right, Gino. 38. Obviously, the paddock watchers think he won't walk on the ground. WizKid, 65. Be your favourite 4-9 hard at that.
Yeah, it's got to be the ground, isn't it, Barry, I guess. At Fontwell, the form... the third of Henderson's is highly regarded, wise guy. Like I said, that Cheltenham race, it's produced some good horses as well. Really surprised that he is as big as he is. Great to see Jamie Snowden with a Grade 1 winner, Gavshi, and they've already had a second in the listed race on the card as well. We mentioned them all then, guys. Tactics looks like they're going to be what sort of a galloper we're expecting here. What I like about Jatois is he wears the hood. He looks like he's going to be too keen. Big ride for Lorcan Williams this, by the way, replacing Daryl Jacob. And yeah, he keeps finding at the business end as well.
Yeah, he really, especially last time out at Leicester, he was on that inside rail, and we all know the hurdle track at Leicester is a swamp, and he still managed to win on that inside rail.
And do you know who was third behind him that day, beating 21
Another
lengths?
crick, yeah.
Another crick.
Exactly.
So, all right. right, the form is there, off and running then in the 2022 Tolworth Hurdle Future Stars time. Fingers on the buzzers for the Supreme. If you fancy Constitution Hill, he's taken a nice tug just off Chatois. A little bit enthusiastic. In fact, they're all taking a good keen tug. None more so than the Morehouse out the back. Should have had one more, who just, for whatever reason, Poste, will not settle.
No, I mean, but he's by-authorised out of a Johannesburg mare. He's probably bred for speedier tests than this, and it sounded like they were running him in this to try and educate him a bit more, hoping a good gallop in a Grade 1. You know?
We see this, Kate, don't we, with horses that they may be thinking, well, let's just educate him this season. We'll retain his novice status for next year. If he's not going to win one, let's at least run him in the big prize money in case he does come good. Oh, yeah,
Barry
Mr. Glass hit that one, and that's all right, Gino. Got a reminder there, Barry.
See what he did there,
I missed that.
What did he exactly do? I was talking to Kate when that happened.
He just jinked a little left at the hurdle, but Gavin Sheehan was very quick to give him a backhander with his left hand for whatever reason.
Is that a
Out of
correction?
frustration? I don't know. Was it?
I mean, I didn't actually see him over the first. I mean, at the second he put down, so that he's on a good stride. Gavin Sheehan's asked him to put up. He's gone out to his left as he's put in a shorter stride.
Cheltenham last time to Sandown now. Maybe we are seeing
but I mean, he's kind of racing quite behind the bride. He's going to bump him along here around the turn. He's not happy at all.
He really doesn't look like he's enjoying it at all. But we've got a long way to go. We're only just leaving the home straight. Then on that famous bend, out into the Esher countryside we go. And Mr. Glass is really making a nice shape, and he's a beautiful looking horse, isn't he, Mr. Glass? You can see why John Dancer's got this one for Nichols. And again, he'll be jumping fences.
Big leggy, scopy type, isn't he?
Chatois settled really well. I've covered his races in the analysis department, and this is the best he's settled so far, this chap. We'll see the real Chatois today. Will he be one for the county hurdle? Could we see a Betfair hurdle candidate approach this race afterwards? Every chance of that, isn't there? It doesn't look like it's going to be That's All Right, Gino. Wizkid, keep an eye on him in 4th place. Isn't he gone well so far? And I don't know. Shall we have one more? Settle a little bit better.
He'd be better off pulling up That's All Right, Gino, because he's going to ruin a good horse by persisting with him like that.
Yeah, it looks like he's, well, absolutely. At the moment, he is persisting, Gav Sheehan, but as you can see, the exchange tells you what his tail will be at the finish, and he's not jumping at all. I think we're going to have a P next to his name.
He's a jockey we're talking about later on, Gavin Sheehan.
All right, okay, yeah, no worries. All right, so where's the favourite going in the market, Barry? Done everything right so far, Constitution Hill.
Yeah, he's 5-2 on there, or he's 3's on there, 1-3-3, 6-8. Shall we have another one? Funny enough. Mind laying it at that price to get home on that ground.
Yeah, he has dropped his head a little bit.
Pulling up, That's All Right, Gino.
Yeah,
okay, the right thing to do, Gav Sheehan. Let's just mend him then at this point. So, we come to the third last, Posty.
Yeah, we're coming to the third last.
Got one right.
Yeah, well done.
I stunned you there. And Chatois, very neat. Constitution Hill, one thing he does do is jump well, doesn't he?
Yes, and it seems like he's got an incredibly laid-back mentality at home from what Nicky Henderson said after the last day, which is, ideal for these sort of conditions. You want a horse that's going to come alive on the track and produce more off the bridle, and he seems to do that well.
And he's still pulling Mr. Glass, Kate, isn't he? He's got plenty to offer still up the hill, and they're conscious that this one will get home.
Yeah, and he's been able to lay out. I know they haven't got a mad gallop by any means, very sensible in conditions considering these novices. But he has just got that slightly unconvincing head carriage. It hasn't stopped him, clearly, because he's won his, last 4. So it clearly doesn't stop him. And he did show a really good attitude last time out, didn't he, in those terrible conditions at Newcastle. So we know he's got the grit and the stamina to see out the finish. But Constitution Hill is just breezing into it now.
He's
getting outpaced now, Mr. Glass. Shall we have one more showing his class by getting into it on the outside despite having pulled? But Constitution Hill at the moment then, pole position for Nicky de Boinville, and away he goes. He leaves
Look at him pricking his ears.
Chatois standing, although that rival does stay further, and it looks like he might get the silver medal at the moment. 2 out.
Good lad.
Another fine jump by the favourite.
He hasn't missed a beat
This is
jumping.
Cheltenham material, isn't it? Absolutely. Could we be looking at one?
Come on, machine.
For next
Jump
year's
it.
champion hurdle even. He's that impressive. Let's have a look at this left to right
Been
thing
shaken
as well.
up, we'll see.
See what Paul Bakewell makes of this. Let's have a look at him.
Oh, good
another little
boy. That was a
absolute
long
ping
enough
up.
stride
Looks
as
like
well.
Chatois going to
Lovely.
win it, is he? Shall we have one more? Mr. Glass needs to go over further, basically. That won't harm his handicap mark. Don't give up on him. But this, we are looking at pure class here. You don't often see Grade 1s won like this, no matter what the opposition is. And they've got a right horse there, haven't we? Chatois, well clear actually in second. Well done those of you that took the 7-2 in the without market there. Great to see Ryan Potter making his Grade 1 breakthrough with a place. Mr. Glass in third, and shall we have one more in fourth as well? Barry, what can we say?
You can't really say anything, Dave. He never traded bigger than his Betfair SP in running. He always travelled well, bad ground. A lot of them didn't go on it. He's relished it, if anything, and he relished the soft ground the previous day when he won in Sandown. I just wonder, he was 7-2. I'm just waiting for the guys to update the anti-post market for the Supreme. He's 7-2, second favourite behind Jambon. But I just wonder how good ground would be for him, because he just seems so effective on the soft, and twice we've seen him around Sandown anyway. But he jumps great, and he's won that from turning into the straight.
Yes, he has. What I liked about him, Posty, was he really was quite impressive in the jumping. That's what I've admired about John Bond so far. Now, here we are. We've got the champion bumper winner in Sir Gerhard. Let's turn our attention to the Supreme market now. We've said what we can now about the Tolworth. We'll see how the form works out. For me, I'd say it might not be too bad. Definitely better than Métier's last year. I think we can agree on that. He's jumped really, really well. He's a laid-back horse. We don't have any idea what he'll find off of the bridle. But I think, obviously, they're both going to run in the Supreme now. I don't think there's any doubting that. Where do we go for the Pret run next for Constitution Hill? Does he need one? Will he lack any experience? We've got the champion bumper winner, Sir Gerhard, sitting behind two Nicky Henderson horses.
I mean, for me, it wouldn't be a concern to me if he turned up in the Supreme Novice without another run. You know, he looks a horse that's incredibly professional.
When you're lacking experience, and this I want to get inside your head here, do you want a horse that is laid back? Do you know what I mean? Rather than something that's a bit more buzzy that needs to shall we have one more?
Often you need to stay a bit further than the trip, you know.
Yes.
And the fact that he seems to have significant stamina over
horses like War of Attrition ran in it, Gold Cup winners.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Kicking King, all those sort of horses. But
exactly.
I agree with Barry. You would be slightly concerned if we ended up with a very dry spring, because it's an unknown, isn't it? No one knows how effective he's going to be on.
I don't know. I mean,
quicker
it's
conditions.
good to start. Like, it was
I mean,
winter
looking at him
ground,
there, he has got a fair knee action. You know, so when you're looking at the action of him, he turns his knee over and has quite a choppy action.
Do you think you might find faster horses on better ground? I'll come to you in a minute, Kate, on that one.
I just think it's an imponderable. The way he moves, if you see watching him now, he's got quite a round action. His knees are quite high when he's going about his galloping. That you would suggest he has an action that is ideally suited to slow conditions. So it would have to be a concern. That doesn't mean he can't overcome it. But if you are looking for cons against him, that's it right now.
The third last, which I called absolutely correctly, by the way.
Yeah.
I did. Iron Smiler has quite cheekily said, Dave, you missed the railway hurdles.
Yeah, it's
right. You know, I missed those railway hurdles that had never existed. But you're right, Iron Smiler, I did miss them. But I got the third last right. Kate, Constitution Hill, come on.
Yeah. Oh, just fantastic. I mean, he did everything that we hoped and expected him to do. And so, obviously, it's sort of a relief more so than, goodness me, he has to be shortened in the betting now into a clear favourite behind, in front of John Bond now. But everything he did there, I think it was actually the fifth last hurdle where he was on a real in-between stride.
You gasped a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I gasped at that. Because you could see, measuring up with the camera angle we had from the side, you could see there was no stride there. And he just came up showing ample scope, and he was so neat, clever, brave.
You're nodding, Posty.
Straight away, I just love that.
Absolutely right.
Look, his jumping technique is excellent. I mean, Nico going to the last was meeting it on a long stride, and because the ground is so soft, he obviously didn't want to mess around with the horse, so he's gone forward and been really positive, and he's winged the last. And you don't. I think they said it about his novice hurdle win here at the track. You don't often see horses picking up at Sandown on this sort of ground, and he looks to have abundance of class. I mean, the form. He's beat a 125 and 129 rated rival.
I'm going to be quite positive about the form, because I think Jetois is a very useful horse in the making.
Yeah.
Now, what do we give? If we're talking about Constitution Hill having a near 150 mark, 145, I'm going to say he might get. We've got 148 for winning his novice. You can't give him too much more than that. He's probably just done kind of what he did. If people are looking to pour some cold water on it.
He shouldn't really be shortening for the festival after that, should he?
Well, we'll find out from Barry whether he has done on the sportsbook shortly, because the traders will be... Hey, come on, Barry, I can hear you laughing. Tell us the price.
9-4 favourite from 7-2.
Oh, man alive. There you go. Yeah. Now, that is fascinating, isn't it? Who thought we were going to be saying a new favourite on the sportsbook?
He's a good horse, isn't he? But has he done anything really that you didn't expect him to do there?
Wow, Kate, a new favourite on the sportsbook for the Supreme.
Yeah,
Come on.
It's just always the case, isn't it? As soon as you see, I mean, he has.
Buckley is there? Or you said he was in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, is he there, is he?
Yes.
Oh, he's made it over. He's supposed to be in Florida. That's unbelievable. He's got a double.
For Nicky Henderson to appear now.
Yeah.
Finger on the pulse here.
Michael said at the start of the week when he spoke to James Byrne, our Lambourne correspondent, I probably won't be able to get over and all that sort of stuff. So listen, it's fantastic to see Michael there. He is one of the real old school owners, classy man. And he's come to see it, which probably tells the tale, doesn't it? But 9-4. What has John Bond gone to then, Barry? That's the next question.
Stays at 11-4.
We've been a bit cynical about that. Do you think so? All right, what, a marker 145, maybe even 150. Then he gets for that.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about him there as well, he has got into him a little bit towards the end, hasn't he? And
Yeah, he's had to teach
educated
him because especially because you don't really see a Tolworth winner going on and having a run between the Tolworth and the Supreme. So I know he lacks the experience, but it's not really something you tend to see. So, but he's given him an education there. And you just say about the soft ground. I was just looking at Blue Brazil's progeny stats there. Obviously, we're learning more and more about him, and he's getting better as we go. But it would suggest that his progeny so far have had a preference for softer conditions. So that is going to be, as you say, just a slight concern.
There's the exchange as it stands then for the Anti-Pro Supreme, the opening day of the Cheltenham Festival, the 15th of March on this year's calendar. And it looks like some race, doesn't it? My mate Mozzie was one of the early season types, Mighty Potter. Could he still have a say? And it's a Gerhard, unquestionably, is the value. Who thought, having come, if you'd have told me, viewers, and Poste and Kate and Barry in the summer that Sir Gerhard would win as he liked on his hurdles debut and afterwards be third favourite at a price for the Supreme, it shows you what sort of race we've got.
British strength.
Yes, we're coming back.
Finally.
Absolutely. The quality review, the jump racing review, or whatever it is, are coming back. So, yeah, the fight back is on.
Are they going to take credit for this, the jump racing review?
Yeah, it's the BHA, of course they are. But wouldn't that be nice if we won the first race at the Cheltenham Festival, I suppose? But look, there we are. Great stuff. Look, we've got to move on because we've got Wincanton coming up. So the show must go on. But a final word from me on that. The way that Nico got stuck into him, wants to finish back, then has a look behind him. He almost looks at the horse as if to say, come on, what's this? I thought you were in a little bit of trouble, you know what I mean? How much has he got underneath him? There's that laid back side of it, you know. We know that this horse has got more under the bonnet. Very interesting. I think the form will work out strongly. We'll see from, of course, some connections of beaten horses where they'll be going. You can get that around about 6 p.m. and, of course, the digital edition tonight at 9 p.m. as well. But now we must move on for the 240 at Wincanton. We're lower on class here, obviously, Barry, but not intrigue.
No, there's a couple of non-runners, though, Dave. I think there's 3 non-runners, isn't there? Or hold on one second. Just let me double check. No, 4 non-runners, actually. But your favourite is crossing the bar at 3.6. So 5-2. Blackberry is 4.36. Apple Rock, well put up by Tony Calvin on the Racing Only Better podcast. Earth Business 7.6. Gold Evan 10.5. I like Kieran Buckley's meant Oro Branco, Nigel Hawk's horse. It's one in our lucky 15 as well. He pulled up last day in Poste on his first run back. Something amiss was the excuse given. I don't know whether they found anything, but he likes to get on with it as he did when Landon Handicap chases on heavy ground in Fontwell and Wincanton a little while back. He's off 114 here, £6 better than his chase rating of 120. He's got £5 claimed off him by Kieran Buckley, and at 34, we're going to have 25 quid win on him in the win market, because I think there's an average enough race, and we're going to have 25 quid win on him in the place market. Just 3 places, please, Kate. I'm happy to be a price taker with both.
Yeah, price taker at both.
Great stuff. Okay, Oro Branco then, a horse that certainly stays well, that's for sure. Likes to get on with it for Barry. Okay, and Kate, who are you going to follow him in with?
Yeah, I mean, really tricky races, as you say. We are going back in grade here, certainly. But the one who I really like was Golden Emblem. She just looks a good price to be siding with here. If I can get around 7-1 about her. Oh, goodness me, that was quick.
We're off.
Yeah,
okay.
Hopefully her over this course and distance again.
Golden Emblem for you, Posty?
Blair Gowrie for me.
Oh, Henderson to have a quick double.
Yeah.
And Apple Rock, I'm with Kelvin. I think that he shaped much better than the bare form at Leicester last time. Ben Pauling had a plan with him. Could this be the day? We'll find out. Another tie for the lead then. Unlike in the Tolworth we've just had at Wincanton, every race there's been a I want to lead. Blair Gowrie up there, Oro Branco. He's only got one way of running. He's up there as well. Looking for some of the others. Dan McGrew is up there as well. Again, he just looks like he's lost his way a little bit. Dan McGrew looking for Jepek. Where's he the better known chaser?
Down the inside,
Down the inside. He
He's
usually
a
runs in the
lunatic.
veterans chase that we're going to see in around about 20 minutes' time. Out the back is Mr. Sweets, a horse that can do it on his day. Looking for the favourite, crossing the bar. He's taking a bit of keen tug out the back, and Golden Emblem for Kate Tracy out the back as well. Okay, Barry, they've seen it. A bit of a split of opinion about the ground. Some wide, some on the inside. Who's gone fav?
Yeah, Blake Gowrie 3.3, crossing the bar 3.75. Jepek is 20 from 38. He's the one that's got to the front. 5.6 Apple Rock. So Your favourite player, Gary, though, at the moment.
All right, okay. So we didn't have much time to preview that for you, I'm afraid, guys. But no apologies. I don't think we're talking about Constitution like Hill like that. It's going to rage on all week, isn't it, basically? Let us know. We've got a bit of a breather towards the show. Who's taken the fancy prices about him along with Paul Keeley after that Tingle Creek romp? Are you on the new Fav at a sensational anti-post price, or are you keen to take him on? Paul Bakewell, will you be taking him on going left-handed? Let us know. All right, 2 gone clear then. Japek's gone to the front post. Is he doing too much?
He's certainly going a very good gallop in the ground, and I mean, like Japek's he's a wonderful old horse, isn't he? But I would have said he's doing plenty in front at the moment.
Okay, Kate, who's catching your eye?
Yeah, as you say, it's not exactly it's a soft lead in the fact that he's got no one sort of pushing him forwards, but Japek, he just has that one way of going, and you do worry about conditions here for him if he's going to be able to maintain that gallop. So I probably would still like something to come back from further back and ridden that bit wider as well, which Blair Gowrie currently is. He looks as though he's got a perfect posse as we're currently looking. I'm happy to see Golden Emblem more held up. I mean, that paid to her chances on a penultimate start at Hereford where she took on the leader Kneecap and they both finished rubbish in the end, and last time out at Plumpton. So happy to see her ridden with more restraint.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. So watch out for the Golden Emblem coming from last place under Harry Reid. None going wider, as you said, than Kieran Butley and James Bone on Bleg. Gowrie
And
also, and Luca Morgan on Apple Rock. What do you know about Luca Morgan?
He's a really good rider.
Right. Okay, you said that with a nod and a confidence.
A lot of chances for Ben Paul.
He has.
So,
he's run all the big tracks, isn't he? Okay, I've analysed a few of his races. All right, okay.
What do you think of him, then?
Well, I think tactical nous is something he's still got to grab. But then well, listen, you've asked me. Why are you laughing?
No, because, I mean, so you're not a fan?
There's one horse in particular, and I might be talking a little bit, where he got it absolutely horribly wrong. But this horse he helped make, actually, so it's not surprising to see him back on. But
was
I don't know.
On last time out on the inside?
Well, it wasn't, because you don't want to go down the inside of the home straight at Leicester, do you? And often when you see a horse doing it, you're thinking today is not the day.
Yeah.
It's a good one to get one beat without giving it too hard a race, if that makes sense. And of course the handicap mark drops. But these young jockeys, when you analyse them, right, you have to look at some of them.
What happened if Ben Pauling told him to go down the inner?
Well, that's probably what he did. I'm not suggesting he didn't. That wasn't the ride. There was a horse called What's Up With You, ran recently at Cheltenham last season, and he just thought the cavalry behind him, and I've seen him do it a couple of times. He's gone a bit too soon. The young jockeys, right, all the wise sages will tell you that you lose races by going too soon more than you do from coming too late. So, because horses lose concentration.
Gary's sloppy mistake there.
But you can see why they paid a bit of money for him, can't you? He's a good-looking horse, but he's not quite got it there. Okay, right, we're on the far side, Barry. We're developing. Nothing getting to the front runners yet.
No, nothing's getting to Japek yet. He's into 5.0 on the exchange. 3.7 Blair Gowrie, even after making that bad mistake. 13.5 our Branco, which is about to go to 100 because he's gone backwards. Apple Rock coming bang into it at 3.9.
Yeah, he's going to need Japek to stop, because Apple Rock, he is what he is, really. He's still a little bit higher than when he last won. He's off the bridle. Look at Dan McGrew coming back into it. I'd suggest that Japek might take a lot of beating here. He usually runs in the veteran chase. Our next race at Sandown for Kaylee Woolacott. Of course, she has got... she's got the King's Writ in that, so I don't know. We shall see. But Japek at the moment leading all the way.
Gary, your favourite at 6-4 to pick him up.
Yeah, he's just ridden him wider the entire way around. You can literally see the line off that.
Is he misleading a bit then, James Bowen? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he just rides very short, So I mean, I think
it always looks like he's going a bit better than.
You can be lulled into thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, he rode something I backed at Foss last in the week. I thought he was going to win until the last, but Japek is still going.
Japek looks home and hose there. He's 4-5
He won't
now.
stop
Oh,
anyway.
this is fantastic, isn't it? A 13-year-old, a teenager winning on the show. He's got them all cold then. Dan McGrew running on the one pace. Apple Rock gone. Didn't like it at all. Blair Gowrie up in trip. He's not going to outstay him, is he? This is wonderful to see them. Ben Godfrey claiming 5 off the old boy. Like I say, usually runs.
Another very good young rider.
Yeah? With tactical nous.
I mean, tactical, very good today. Very good.
All right, this is great to see. What a jump from Japek as well. That's the way to put him up in. There was a bit of conjecture on the chat about Anthony Animal being in good form or not. I think that's your answer, isn't it? I think he's had 6 from his last, certainly within his last 20 runners now. That's a fair strike rate, lads, out there. So, Japek, great to see, Barry. 13-year-olds showing they can still do it. We love the game. Not as much as Japek does, though.
Yeah, Betfair SP at 38. So, good luck to anyone who found that. 206 Blair Gowrie hit a low of, so even money for Blair Gowrie in running on the Betfair Exchange. Apple Rock hit a low of 3.9, would you believe? Golden Emblem hit a low of 2.92 in running on the Betfair Exchange. So plenty of in-running stories in behind, but it paid to be up with it by the looks of it.
First win for Japek since winning the Veterans Chase we were about to cover at Sandown in 2020. Off a mark of 132, obviously a couple of years younger, but here he is. He said, he's still 124, isn't he? So it's not like an absolute gimme, is it? So great to see these old boys coming back. The good stuff then. All right. That was Wincanton. Well done. If you found him in running and thought they ain't going to get to the old boy. And all right, let us know how you're doing around about the half-time stage, isn't it? We've seen Constitution Hill. He did what we expected him to do. We have a new favourite on the sportsbook for the Supreme. So I have to say it out loud to believe it myself. But we have 15 minutes or so to the Veterans Chase. Did you ever get to ride in many of these Veterans races? Oh, I say, your face is like, where's he going with this? I don't mean veteran riders, old boy. This isn't point the points. Yeah. I mean, did you enjoy riding in the Veterans races?
What's not to enjoy about riding an old horse that knows its job inside out? I mean, it's...
I don't know, because... Loads of people love these. I would suggest this will be the most popular race of the day, wherever you go. The race goes at Sandown right in for a real treat. They're all exposed. We know about them. But, I don't know, as a rider, do you want to get on the unexposed sorts? Do you want to get on the racier types? I don't know. Or is it just such an enjoyable thing that
I think it's a massively enjoyable thing, yeah, to get on an old horse that knows its job inside out. 9 times out of 10, they're very good jumpers, as in, I think these are sort of races that are a pleasure to be involved in.
Railway fences.
Railway
Railway hurdles.
Yeah.
We take them all in here.
Without being rude, not that they're actually good prize money, most of them as well. I mean, it's a 100 grand race, but I mean, even the ones week in, week out are often good prizes to be going around for.
Yeah, this is the final, of course, of the series, isn't it? And they all have to qualify. Interestingly, a lot of the qualifiers qualified earlier in the season, then sort of like had a prep run, then came back into it. So final Nigel didn't qualify there. ASO, very interesting character, isn't he? Class of the race. Don't think we can deny that, but will he get home on this ground? Gwensilly Burbass as well, who Ryan McHugh was deputising for Barry at Exeter, absolutely smashed off the park. Bridal job that was for the Scudamores. And the Pipes at Exeter. The King's Writ, I like him. Barry, where are we going?
Yeah, well, Final Nudge has been all the rage. He's currently 5.0, 4.8 in the Betfair Exchange, so a little over 7-2. ASO, class horse in the race, obviously 5.5. 9 Indy 5. Gwensilly Burbass, who I think could try to get off in front here, is 10. 13 Wandering Star. The King's Writ, 13.5. I like a horse in it called Prime Venture for Adam Wedge. Obviously, we saw him. He pulled up in the Vets Chase where ASO finished second, the Black Lion. I think he may have burst that day as well. He hasn't shown a lot in 2 runs this season, but when you go back to his Welsh national form in 2019 when he was 4th, he was only beaten a little over 4 lengths behind Potter's Corner of 135. He's 130 rated now. He's currently 24. We're going to have 25 quid win on him in the win market and 25 quid in the place market, just the standard place terms here. Again, happy to be a price taker here, Kate.
Go back and confirm that. Yeah.
But just that, these are races generally I wouldn't have a bet in myself because I find it hard to actually get a strong line of form on them. But if he comes back to anywhere near his best, he should be there or thereabouts on ground that he'll absolutely relish.
Okay, thanks, Barry. Yeah, it's of course, remember Bywise winning this for Evan Williams. This is a race that's valuable. We all laugh at Bywise, don't we? What a character he was. One of the great characters.
He was probably one of those horses you wouldn't relish riding now.
Well, that's levelling up on what I'm saying there a little bit. And Barry said a line there, I wouldn't be betting in this, really. But again, I use Keels as this is the only reason why he's got out of bed today, Keels. He relishes these veteran chases. He's put 2 up, Rolling Dillon and the King's Writ, who I'm going for as well. And the King's Writ ran 5th in the Gunsight Ridge and Long Press race, which is now becoming looks like a very good form race at Exeter. That wouldn't have been for him now. And he absolutely tanked his way through that. He does like Exeter, the old boy. But he went very close at Wincanton in some sort of weird NAFNL, as Bruce Millington calls them. What was that last year? Oh, yes, of course. Dawson City.
Somerset
in the, Somerset NAFNL. He calls them the NAFNLs. That aren't, basically, if you're not Welsh, you're Scottish, or you're Irish, you're a NAFNL. But that day looked like he was going to win. Harry Cobden rode him. Joshua Newman taking 7 off. What can you tell me about him?
He is Kaylee Woolcott's partner.
Been around for donkeys, hasn't he, Josh Newman?
He rides a lot of point to
Hobbs for a bit.
Yeah, I think he's had a few jobs.
So we're no problems there.
No,
Claiming
loads of
7.
experience.
And he's a massive horse. touch wood, he should love the railway fences, and he's a lot better than he showed there, and he qualified earlier in the season. Marker 133, love the ground, 20-1 at the start of the week, now into 10s. I really like him. Kate Tracey.
Yeah, and he also fits a positive trend about horses that do not come into this race on the back of a veterans race run, because from our good friend Andrew Mount, he gave me the stat the other day that horses who ran in a veterans race last time out are only 1 from 40 in this final, so that's definitely a quite a significant negative, and that was definitely a reappearance run for him, wasn't it, for the King's Writ. But the one who I do like here is Gwensily Burbas. You were getting a bigger price about him a few days ago. He's been cut in price, but as I say, he just ticks all the boxes for me. He's one of the youngest horses in this race, because of course to qualify for this race you've had to have been a 10-year-old, so our youngest horses here are 11. He's one of that. He's got an ideal rating for this race as well of 132 when you want a horse that's rated in the 130s. He's had 2 rounds this season, which is a positive. He ran well last time out after coming from off the pace, and I hope there's going to be a pace collapse here. All these old boys need to be sent forwards, but so hopefully he's going to come pick up the
issue with that is so often we've been doing these shows, and the stay in chases, you've got to be up there.
Yeah, this was when he ran at Exeter last time. As I mentioned, Barry's deputy, Ryan McHugh, he was having a terrible run. And we were sort of fearing for him a little bit, a lot of duckies. And he said, Gwensily Burbas, boys, and we could call it all the way. And it was a great moment on the show, actually, last winter. Ryan knocked it out of the park. It was a massive prize. And he won like an absolute good thing. There's more to come from him, that's for sure. And the Pipes would have had their one eye on this. 50 grand to the winner then. Let's get a social up on the screen who joins the party or comes back. William Miles, welcome to you, William, and says, class should tell. ASO for me. All right, Poste, give me a line on ASO.
Well, I mean, a class horse, hasn't he been placed in a Ryanair, etc. A solid run behind Black Lion, who then absolutely bolted up next time out again at Haydock.
So 149 should be fine for him. But
I
what
mean,
about the test?
The mark is not the issue. I mean, he's a class horse in a race like this. I'm just not completely convinced about him over this trip.
If you're not getting 3 mile 1 around Haydock in a veterans chase where they won't hang around, you'd be slightly worried. So look, William, it is Charlie Doyle. She's a positive ride as well, Charlie, isn't it?
I mean, having an excellent season, and the trainer in these sort of conditions, and horses running fantastic. Well, there's so many positives for ASO, but I just have a lingering doubt that whether he's going to be the most resolute stayer over this track. And you're going to need to stay, because it's going to be
who's the bet?
Attritional. I'm with the favourite. Final.
Wouldn't it be great to see 2 teenagers winning in quick succession? Because we've got another 13-year-old here who didn't half come back to form last time.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was excellent round Warwick. But I've been placed in the Midlands National before that, and he does, for me, he fits the bill. I mean, it was just what Kate said about the trend, that it's amazing how that can even be a trend, isn't it? That the 1 in 40 if you actually ran in a qualifier as your run before that.
For your final.
Makes no sense.
The forensic Mount would always find that one, old Andrew. Absolutely, quite right. Kenny Ritchie, welcome to you. Happy New Year, my man. Dave, Kills didn't Kills say he wants back JPEG back in like 2017? Probably. I don't think he would have been on today.
You know what, he
Kenny,
was. I
for
actually
sure.
remember that day when he won the Veterans Final, because I was there that day with Keels in one of the Sandowns, and I was actually giving a tipster talk to Paul Keeley about the horse he had tipped up, and it was one of the most embarrassing things that he was so sound about it. Luckily we agreed, and so I just remember from that he was all in on Japek that day.
Probably
and he
have
got
had
it
a
right.
liquid
Like
breakfast.
then.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he has been around the house, hasn't he? Okay, yeah, thanks for that, Kenny. Yeah, so Japek, great seeing bounce back. So we could have 213 on news desk. This is something our news desk would absolutely love. A word on the winner of our first. The first winner at Wincanton that we covered, the 80-1 shot, or as it was backed. Barry mentioned it was shorter on the BSPs.
But it had been matched at 350 on the exchange, yeah.
Yeah, it was backed. Let me go. It was 130, wasn't it? Remind me, it was the Jeremy Scott trained. Let me look through him. Was it Pilsden Penn? They had it right off. The owners. James Stevens is on track for us today, and they'll be drinking the Guinness tonight, is the line, basically. Remember I said that the news, he would have been told, James, by whoever the news did, to get down and find them, or whatever, and they were more than happy to talk to him. So some great lines coming out.
Any stewards report then, or not?
There will be a stewards report, I would imagine. But they fancied the horse. So, again, listen, a lot of people will say, that's absolutely disgraceful, 8880, but he's into a lowly race. He's running races he could never, ever win. Yeah. And let's face it, at the moment, if you own a horse, okay, the British handicapping system, to get your horses into the right races off a winnable mark is a bit of an art form these days, and it's exactly what encourages owners into the sport.
But when you have a sport that's underpinned by a handicap system, surely people have to accept that there's going to be some
That's
playing
what
of
I
the
mean.
game. You know, as in it's
an
part
art
and parcel
form.
of it. You know,
Yeah.
it is.
Finding the right races for your horses on the marks that they can win at, their actual
To
ability
give credit, like you
marks.
say, they had 3 quick runs, a month without a race.
Let's get it into him now. Let's absolutely find the right race.
But it also takes a certain type of horse to be able to do that.
And to know what you have under the bonnet
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
I've
Yeah,
never
it
known
must,
how
it
people
must
do
not
that.
pull off 100 times this week, you know.
Massively, and I think that is something you have to temper when people are like making out that it's that easy.
Isn't it interesting that Jeremy Scott he wouldn't be one of your, you wouldn't have him
He's
down
a
as
shrewd guy.
Yeah, absolutely. But you wouldn't have him in the bookies ring, would you, too much? So, but what I'm saying, he wouldn't be like Bonnie Curley, like, would he? Do you know what I mean? And that suggests that they've got this horse, they've had a plan, and they've pinpointed it to absolute accuracy.
Without doubt.
Yeah. So anyway, the owners have had it right off, and he was shorter the BSP than you see with your SPs, which is something quite interesting, as Barry says, matched at whopping prices
And just
on exchange as well.
Just on a horse to get put up then in future, you know, we were talking about Gunsight Ridge and potentially throwing up a Grand Annual horse. I mean,
Yeah.
he won that today off of 130. 136 would have been the minimum to have got you into the Grand
Yeah.
Annual last year. So surely you'll get that rise, won't
He
he?
looks like he's going to be that type of horse. doesn't
I'm going to make it. I don't think we saw a Grand Annual winner in that race.
he? Yeah. What, you think he's got too much?
I just don't. I wouldn't fancy.
Did you break it? You didn't break it.
Bondoran back there again.
No,
Point to pointer.
Bundoran will go back there, and he's absolutely put himself right for that. Just nice and fresh, please, Tom, and a bit of decent ground for Bundoran. He is capable of having a say in a Grand Annual. Yeah, no, but you're right, Kate. He's the sort of uply mobile type of horse you want for it. Absolutely.
Just to keep an eye on.
It is fast and furious these days, the Grand Annual, isn't it? That is absolutely brutal race.
Be a bit different to Sandown today.
Yeah, very much so. But look, a talented horse as well. So we've seen that as well. Tom O'Brien has won quite a lot of races at Wincanton, I'm hearing as well. He obviously won one that we've done. How many is he?
Yeah, he won the first, no, second
He's won
one.
the
didn't he?
fourth
First
timer,
two.
is he?
He won the first 2, didn't he?
First two
he's
was
bagged
it
the
on
treble.
Hobbs's, yeah.
Yeah. So he's on a 4-timer at Wincanton. He didn't ride in the last, Tom O'Brien, so he's having a very good day there as well.
You
Let's
like
hope
him as a
are.
rider? Or anything wrong with his?
No,
tactics?
Tom O'Brien, absolutely fine. No problems with him whatsoever. He learnt from the best, didn't he? So, Dicky.
Ricky.
Just always in the
Dicky.
right place, isn't he? He's Ricky.
Ricky Johnson. Yeah, exactly. And he's yeah, everyone loves Tom O'Brien, don't they? Nothing wrong with him whatsoever. Tactical nous, that's what you want. Luca Morgan, take notes. Well, Luca Morgan, I don't know how he's got thrown under the bus. We've got one more to come from Wincanton, and it's a tricky race. That's for sure. Killer Clown will be your favourite in that. But back to Sandown we go. It is the veterans race. We've been digressing, Barry Orr. You've been waiting in the wings to tell us what's going to go off, Fav. Is it still final nudge, or is ASO pushing him?
Yeah, final nudge favourite at 5.48. So although Indy 5 is the one that's best backed in the race, half in price. He was 18 at one stage. He's into 9.4 now. Gwen Silly Bearbass 9.2, 12 Wanderer Star. So yeah, there's a lot of action in the race. It's always a really hot betting race, this Veterans Final. And it looks at the moment between Final Nudge and ASO, which one of them will go off favourite? It's hard to call.
Thanks, Barry. Yeah, in Indy 5, win last time out. He's just a pound out the handicap, but Gav Sheehan on. What did the ground? He's heavy ground. Looks all right.
I love the heavy ground.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah. David Doolittle, enthusiastic bunch of owners. These will be getting stuck in now if Indy
Dave
5
Dennis.
won.
Yeah, he's cut a couple of headlines, Dave Dennis, over the last couple of years. He's been around the houses a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, as in the interesting profile. Yeah. He
Yeah.
decided he wants to train again now.
Tom
after
Simmons
Nice
and
myself
Matt
again now,
Shepherd.
and,
Yeah. all
training
right.
from Ben Case's yard.
Okay, there we are. But this one came good last time and is the money horse, according to Barry Orr, in the Veterans Final. Third last race here this afternoon on Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, Charlie Post, Kate Tracey, and the big hitter, Barry Orr. Really, really looking forward to this. King's Rip for me. Kate, remind me.
Oh, Gwen Silly
Gwen Silly
Bearbass.
Bearbass, of course, one of the one you've got. Okay, so the hat trick is on in the column, isn't it? If
Oh,
Gwen
well,
Silly
this is only the
Bearbass
second
gets
leg.
on.
This is only the second leg. My
But the
final
first one's
leg
in
is,
Gunsight Ridge, of
yeah.
course, which was a right price in the end, considering.
Yeah, he
Lucky
drifted,
Mike off.
didn't he?
Yeah, he
So,
did,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
All right.
my most interest about this race is how quick they're going to get down to this first. What miles an hour will they touch?
Well, we'll see, because they are just about to go off and the Geiger counter's ready.
I always
to
wonder
do
how
it.
accurate this is.
What,
I know, sometimes.
what you
I
mean the
watch
clock?
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
there is a bit of conjecture. Unfortunately,
Full
no,
stop.
he's waved his
Course.
flag. Full start. Thankfully,
should've
they're all
backed that, to be
veterans,
fair.
and they shouldn't be too nutty down there. Indy 5's just about won the full start. That's what we used to say in the analysis department. Who's won the full start?
Yeah.
Basically, who hasn't done anything. Who's won the full start? Definitely, it's Indy 5. They're all fine though. Again, if you want to have a full start, I suppose you want to be a veteran, don't you?
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, okay, I'll go again, shall I?
Look at these old wise characters, though. They're so funny. They're just brilliant. This is also one of my favourite
We
races
should
of
give
the
him all
year.
a mention, shouldn't we, really? Let's
Yeah,
have a look down.
Valadon, what a legend he's
Wandering
been.
Star for Dave Bass and Kim
Whether
Bailey.
or not he's going to be fresh enough off this break, he's sort of a horse that you want first time out and then he regresses. But he has had a freshen up now, which might seem a better order. But I don't know if I could trust Bailey's horses at the minute to run to form.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people have been saying that. It's not just been this month, just gone. It's been since the end of October, really, about Kim's horses. But listen, start the season well, finish it well. You're not going to complain about that. His fourth to final last time at Warwick, where he tended to jump right, was Sir Ivan, who has been finished third in this race last year. Somehow he's a 20-1 shot for Lorcan Mercer and Harry Fry. He'll love coming back. He could have a say, couldn't he? Good luck where we were playing. Dashing Perk in there as well. He's likely a pace angle, and he does indeed try and take it up. God, they're rocking. What have we got?
That's right, Tommy.
Psychedelic Rocks up there.
Yeah, Valadom up there as well on the inside. Over they go to first. Gwensley Burbas had a bit of a look at it, but he's over fine.
That's all right. It shuffles him a bit further back. That's all right.
Unsurprising to see ASO right out the back, is it? Charlie
at all.
Deutsch is going to try and Ivor Needle it then, basically. But Valadom wins the battle. And according to this, they're going 28 miles an hour. I'd say they might be going a tad faster than that. So whether that clock's absolutely accurate, I do not know. Psychedelic Rock in second.
ASO didn't have that.
ASO did not like that barrier at all upsides your prime venture. Indy 5's the one right at the back with Gwensley Burbas for Kate Tracy. King's Rip beautifully settled in midfield. That's what I wanted to see. Who's that with the orange then? Sir Ivan as well in midfield, looking
Final
down.
nudge.
Yeah, where is Final Nudge? Yeah, that's your
Midfield, yeah.
13-year-old.
alongside
Job in the
Gwensley
race is
Burbas.
struggling out last, isn't he? Indy 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't like it at all. You do see this, don't you, a little bit? A horse just, again, difficult ground to start making up that deficit on, basically. So are we now at the railway fences?
No. Jump in the water.
One day, Dave Orton. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's a bit smaller, isn't it?
Yeah.
At that water, obviously. All
Charlie,
right.
you call that jump in the water, but there's no actual water there, is there?
Not in most of them anymore, Barry. I mean, in all honesty, they probably should just be taken out and consigned.
That's
to
weird,
history.
isn't it? That's weird, isn't it?
There isn't Cheltenham, is there?
There is water still at Cheltenham, yeah.
Still the Cheltenham one. And
Just-
Ludlows.
just
and the
carts
Put
and courses, just get the hose out, fill it full of water. It's called a water
Or just
jump.
get rid of them. They
Or
just
just get
I
rid of
like
them.
a
don't see the
water
point of
jump.
them.
Hey, look, this is. Hey, look, there's pretty much a recession out there, at the moment. We can't be just buying new fence and throwing it away. They'll do at the moment. Don't tell anyone there's no.
They'll bring in a
water them. We all
portable one if
believe
you're
it.
not careful. They'll
Yeah.
bring in a Ludlows
Even
type fence
worse,
if not.
even worse.
Well, we've been over the
Crucified
railway
Haydock
fences for the
and
first time, and I can tell you
Yeah.
that Valadom absolutely ate them up because he's gone 5 lengths clear.
This is the
of
horse that they
chasing
said,
pack.
regardless what happens, he's retiring after
Oh,
today.
is he? Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
this
for
is
Richard
last
Hobson.
race.
Lily Pinchin
What a
having the
legend.
spin of her life then at the moment. The crowd will be absolutely roaring as they go past the stands for the final time then. And this is lovely to see, isn't it? A grey out in front. According to birthday boy Graham Rodway, they do jump better. Let's see how he takes the world famous bomb fence. And Psychedelic Rock is trying to chase, as is Wandering Star and Dashing Perk. I'll tell you what, if you're leading Dashing Perk by 7 lengths, you are going pretty fast. He's got a sizable advantage, Barry. What is the exchange saying about that?
Well, your favourite's still Final Nudge at 4 point. Sorry, 1 second here. At 4.8, 7.2 ASO. Indy 5 is out to 50. Looks like that might be pulled up. But the one in front of the Betfair SP at 23 and is currently trading at 7.0, so 6-1.
This is a distance winner, Barry, as well, so almost half a fence clear, as you might say. Psychedelic Rock only just jumping the fence that Valadom won. If you're on Valadom now, forget Cooper Square. If you're on Valadom now, what are you thinking? Charlie, I've gone too soon.
No, I don't think you are. I mean, you've actually picked up a sizable advantage without seemingly having gone that quick. I mean, I think you're going to try and fill up now, lengthen down to the cross fence downhill, and then again try and fill up a bit down the back.
All right, okay. Well, Psychedelic Rock is the one poised at the minute, along with Dashing Perk and Wandering Stars. They have been. King's Writ starting to make a bit of a move, along with 2021 third, Sir Ivor. Okay, tell me about Gwensley Burbas, Kate Tracy in midfield.
Yeah, I mean, he got a slow enough jump then at the first, which just put him further back, which I thought was going to be ideal because I thought the pace was really going to push on. It kind of didn't really, and then Valadom's been the sole representative to go off in front then. But he's down the inside rail there, which isn't as bad on the chase course as we know. He's been jumping well enough economically in a rhythm. So happy enough where I am.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Dancing Shadow struggling as well.
All right, and a Victor Dartner horse who usually races a little bit more prominently, so he's spitting out the dummy.
pulled
laps.
up.
Pulled up, is he, Barry? Okay, thank you. All right then. We're out on the far side, and they have given
One of them just pecked
Valadom.
badly on
Proper
landing
slow
there.
jump.
What,
from
10
behind.
lengths clear is he Valadom now?
More.
More?
15, yeah.
15.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
right. Dial of distance,
15,
says Barry Orr. Okay, so listen, when's he going to curl up? We'll find out, because they are going on the far side. We've got 2 more fences before the famous...
No.
Just the
4
one.
fences.
How many?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay,
goodness
right.
me.
I mean,
Shocking
Hey,
camera
so-
angle.
it is a terrible camera angle. I mean, where are we?
I have
We
no
could be
idea
in
what these
London for all we
horses
know
are.
at the minute. All right, but what we do know is Valadon has got this. What is the market saying, Barry? He must be going short, surely.
4.0 now, Dave, and 4.8 final nudge. Valadon 4.0, 3.2 now, so 9-4 Valadon.
Okay, Kate, if you're the riders in behind the peloton, if you like, what do you think? What are you saying to each other? Don't panic.
Yeah, don't panic. But by the pond fence, you want to be starting to make some inroads, surely, by this point. I know it's a long way home thereafter, and of course, that deficit is going to have to be closed at some point. But it's tricky now. It's tricky, especially in these old boys who haven't got the turn of foot as such either to try and make that inroads.
You can't panic now.
As we meet the railway fences.
Yeah, exactly. But
He's nearly a fence ahead of them.
But what I'm saying is that you've got to take your punishment now. They've given him too much rope, and they've got to hope he comes back.
Gwen Silly Burbass
Kind of
pulled up,
pulled up,
Kate.
rubbish.
And My King's Wit is not enjoying himself today. It's just the way these races are run sometimes. Horses they sort of spit out the dummy a little bit. And final nudge, while he was catching the eye, he's just too far back, isn't he? So Lily Pinchin, has she got it? This is a 13-year-old. The news desk at the Racing Post will be like, please, because it's a great headline. The teenagers come to the party. We've had, of course, Jepek,
emptying?
a previous
Is he
winner
empty?
of this race. Is he empty?
I mean, he looks like he's in the petrol gauges.
Ooh, she's having a look now, Lily Pinchin. Don't stop
Panic.
going, girl.
Sizable distance.
Go on.
Prime Venture staying on better than anything, isn't
Oh,
it?
this
is,
could
isn't
be
it?
David
He really
Maxwell
is.
Mark II, could it? Okay, Adam Wedge sitting pretty. Sir Ivan sitting pretty. All of a sudden, the chasing
Ivan's
pack
sitting pretty,
is
yeah.
sensing it.
Oh,
Final
Valadon.
nudge on
Paddy's
Dashing
coming as
Burke
well.
is near.
Paddy's coming.
All right, the pond fence. How does he get over it? This will tell us a lot about how Valadon. He's absolutely
Still
fine
jumping
over
Oh,
it.
a long way clear.
Come on, just keep going, Lily. Keep going on front.
now
I'll
the-
tell you what,
now
now
the red
Valadon,
lights
all of a
God,
sudden,
he's
she's
walking.
looking at the climb up the hill. She's looking at the Eiger, isn't she? Here comes Sir Ivan. Here comes Final Nudge. Here comes Dashing Perk.
Go on, Paddy.
And Prime
Get Paddy.
Venture, not out of this at all. Lily Pinchin, 6
Oh,
lengths clear
Valadon,
as he
you brave
walks
boy.
over the second
Go on,
half.
Paddy.
Tell you what, Prime Venture's coming here. Here we
he?
go, Final Nudge.
Come
Prime
on,
Venture's
Adam.
got this, hasn't he? Look at this,
Go
Evan
on,
Williams
Prime
right
Venture.
down it
Go on,
again.
Paddy.
Final Nudge now
6 to
takes it
4
up.
on.
This is
Pricking
between
his
Barry
ears
Orr
in
and
front,
Charlie
pricking
Post.
his ears in
Valadon,
front.
look at this, 6 to 4 on Barry. Come on, the Prime Venture, up you come. Adam Wedge over the last. Final Nudge
Come on,
walks
Prime.
over it. This is lightning striking
Come on,
twice.
Prime.
2 weeks in a row, 2022. The big
different
hitter
ball.
has pulled it out of the fire. Scenes in the RP Live studio. They're unbelievable. Let's hope you went with Sir Barry Orr. Final Nudge running on again. This is Bywise Mark II. Take a bow, Prime Venture. My goodness me. From the clouds, Barry Orr. Have you got your composure, man?
Great old warrior these guys are, aren't they? Especially after backing a winner. It's easy to say. Happy days. We got 700 quid for the injured jockeys fund there. 600 in the win market, where we backed it at 25, odds of 25, so 24 to 1, and we backed it in the place market as well. Won us 100 quid, but Final Nudge traded quite short in running. I thought he was going best of anything. Jumping the last, he was 1.22, so around 9 to 2 on Final Nudge. And the other one that traded short, Sir Ivor, was 2.6, so 6 to 4. And Valadon, who ran such a cracking race, 1.55, so 2 to 1 on for Valadon, who's going to be retired now.
He absolutely, and what a way to go out! It was a sit, that he'll be on the, on everyone's lips for a long time after that. He put a lot of horses out of their comfort zone there, didn't he? Bar the chasers over the final 2, and it was just at this point we're jumping the famous pond fence, and Barry said, "I tell you what, look, he's staying on here." And 2 weeks in a row. I mean, the horse bled last time, right? He's got a P next to his name and an 8 on his return. There's duck egg next to the 5. But if you forensically look through, as Barry did, and if you listen to Evan Williams today in the paper, the comment would have put you on him a little bit. On his day, he stays exceptionally well. The harder conditions become, the more it will
Which
suit
is
him.
interesting when the horse bled last time. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Not so
like fair
confident.
play, and Evan said it wasn't a problem, but you'd have thought normally you wouldn't be thinking an even more grueling test is what a horse wants when it's bled or burst a blood vessel on its last run. And again, beautiful ride from Adam Wedge. Like smothered into the race.
He's just very good, isn't he, Adam Wedge? I used to watch him in points. I've said this before on the show. And some people that watch points all the time told me that this guy would go to the top. And,
Yeah.
Welsh national winning jockey, of course. He's been on. He gets rides all over the place. Well, not just for Evans. He's a proper rider.
Oh, excellent rider.
Yeah.
I mean, and was probably is still underrated, if I'm honest. That doesn't get the plaudits he quite deserves because he's a very one of the very best, I think.
Yeah, Secret Reprieve, of course, as well. Grand National winners and
ran well the other day.
They did run well. Yeah, do you reckon that could go to national now? Secret Reprieve.
Yeah,
he was quite positive about it, wasn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
it'll probably be placed knowing the connections, won't it?
Yes, of course. What was the horse that used to run for the Ruckers? Always placed in it. Oh, I can't remember that. Listen, lot of love for Barry. They're calling him the goat. Look at that.
Easy
Barry
going,
the goat's more like, says Kenny
Lads, if
Ritchie.
only you knew. If only you knew. Blind squirrels and all that.
Absolutely
I wouldn't be
fantastic.
sat here if I was that good.
The problem is, Barry, the first week of 2022, the second week of 2022, what, you got a 5-1 for next week now? You're the hat-trick man.
A hat-trick up.
But listen, that was an absolute pleasure, wasn't it? It really, really was. And let's hope
looking at
some
that
of you
profit.
were with it. Lots of money for the IJF then. It's all what it's about here on Racing Post Live. We've got 2 races left. It was an absolute treat, that. I bet the crowd is buzzing now at Sandown as well. Final nudge ran on beautifully.
So you like
there.
veterans races now?
Oh, listen, I never said I didn't. In fact, it was the man who put it up. And there was a line in his debrief. If you go back and watch this afterwards, he said, "Oh, they're a thrill, aren't they? These veterans races." Whereas before, he said, "I wouldn't usually have a bet in one now myself." He's going to be with Keeley at the bar this time next year, watching this race. It's great to see 50 grand to connections as well. I don't know, prize money could it
State of
just
play
coming
was that
back
the horse?
up? State of play.
State of
Well
play.
done, Poste.
Oh, back to everything, that's it.
Apple Blur.
State of
Fergals
play.
as well in the same.
What a start to 2022, says Louis McKellar, who's running our social activity today. You'll see that all over Twitter, I am absolutely sure. Brilliant scenes. We must move on for the penultimate race. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Of all the races today, there's usually one race, Kate, where I say I'm going to be at the bar. This would be
This is your bar race,
When
yeah.
Silly Burbass, so you've got 1P, and you're going for
Yeah.
one in our last, not at Sandown. What catches your eye on this before we go to Barry?
1P1, I'm hoping to do a prime venture and come back from a pulled up on my latest start. Yeah. And no, this actually isn't my next race for the column, but I'm hoping to get back in winning ways here. But what an absolute nightmare this is. Doubts about the whole field. So the horse that I've got the least doubts about, Stolen Silver. Fair play to Connections for having a stab at the Henry VIII last time out. Won by Edwardstone, of course, where Stolen Silver was just outpaced throughout the race. Finished well up the Sandown Hill. Wasn't disgraced in 4th. So based on that start, a step back up from a mile 7.5 to 2 mile 4 is a positive.
Yeah.
And he should be much happier in a handicap, as was the case on his reappearance start. Second behind Editor de Gite, obviously not bad form. So off a £5 higher mark than for that second. Jack Tudor taking £3 off. £2 higher than the Cheltenham run. Makes him difficult to beat for me in the sign-up.
I'm agreeing. Posty quickly before we go to Barry.
3 out of 3.
3 out of 3.
Stolen
Okay,
Silver.
we're all Stolen Silver. Barry, take the floor.
Yeah, Killer Clown for me. Uninspiring 2 runs so far. Was beaten 30 lengths by Cap Course in Newbury. Ran a little bit better when he was beaten over 12.5 lengths in Aintree by All Mankind. But he's rated, 135 now versus the 141 he was when he was second to Umbrigado in the Great Wood Gold Cup last March. So it's Killer Clown for me. Just a straightforward 50 win at 4.8, please, Kate. Happy to be a price taker here.
Yeah, they thought he was going to win last time at
Tongue
Newbury.
strap on for the first time.
I think
Yeah.
that's probably why, because you watch back that Newbury run turning in, you're like, if this wins like that, I mean, he just probably did go a bit too hard, I
Yeah,
think.
did he
but,
go a bit too soon?
The other
Yeah.
one that's going to drop in probably before long is Notre Parry.
Yeah, he's just a consistent enough
For the
horse,
Murphs.
really, isn't he, in this
For
context
the
of
Murphs
this
with
race.
Adrian Eskin on, yes, for
The
JP.
Connections, there'll be a day somewhere along the line.
Today for him, though, Charlie,
Pardon?
wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You'd wonder is today the day for him.
I would completely, Barry, I completely agree, but there will be a day for him.
There will be. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah,
That is just
They're,
cheat
they're,
form
they're
again.
grand chess masters, that grid.
yeah,
They're
exactly. Yeah.
6 or 7 steps ahead.
I'm not trying to second guess them.
And we're off and running then.
me
And going ahead is Stolen Silver. Slate House, who Paul Keeley put up a good case for, ran in this race on a much higher mark. They got him handicapped over hurdles last time. Could he bounce back? He was a Quato Star winner in his day, wasn't
He's
he?
an enigma of a horse.
He
though,
is,
isn't
he's
he?
just-
and like the
oh.
trainer form again.
Oh,
still
what's going on
concerns me.
there? Exactly, they had such a good start to the
Yeah,
season.
and it's
the
kind
Tizzies,
of the
didn't they?
wheels have come off again.
I don't know, maybe they've done their inoculations, we're not sure. But Notre Parry out the back, along with the Cathal, Don, for Seamus Mullins and Sean Houlihan, who often have a winner or two when they bring horses to this track. Mont des Avalois, very easy to back
Yeah.
on his return for Bryony and Paul Nichols. Long layoff, market lukewarm on him. And Killer Clown, he's up there as well. He had a bit of a look at the first. Let's see how he gets over this one. Yeah, not too bad over that, is he, whatsoever, under Tom Bellamy on the outside as well. Getting a pretty easy time of it then. Stolen Silver up front, Charlie Poste.
Yeah, I mean, on the face of it, and if this speed gun is to be believed, having a relatively easy, uncontested time on the front end, and this has to be a major positive for this horse over this trip as well.
Well, I'm reading some of the comments about Barry at the moment. Quite funny, actually. See if we can build some of them up for after this as well. What an enjoyable afternoon we're having. Will be for me if Stolen Silver hangs on.
Killer Clowns all of a sudden just dropped back very quickly, from being sort of up there.
He's a horse, didn't he, that won that novice handicap at Kempton last year, and they thought he was going to go on for it. They saved him, obviously, for the Big E, and he just, I don't know, he's GPs, but they do. He's a bit like Unsight Ridge, I think, in that at home they're expecting him to have done more than he has so far on the track, probably. Is he a bit more of a spring horse? We will find out. There's that novice handicap, obviously, that he went for at Sandown. It's just all sort of gone a bit quiet after that, but definitely, if he goes on the ground, we have to think he'll be there at the finish. But Stolen Silver, Edward Stone form, of course, this is, albeit beaten a long, long way last time. This, I imagine, will be the plan. And Grey Diamond would have gone close if he not come sprawling at the last for connections as well. But Slate House is keeping him warm, Kate Tracy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, as we were talking about Slate House, I mean, I feel like I've been tracking this horse's sort of medical records rather than his form more so than anything else, just for the wind operations he's been given, for the excuses he's been given time and time again, flipping his palate. He's just such a difficult horse to get right. But with the blinkers being fitted here now, he does seem to be travelling an awful lot kinder.
Now.
Yeah, he's now taking it up. So, I mean, that's the only way realistically you're going to win on them. If you're going to put the headgear on them, I say change your tack and ride them prominently then.
Yeah, not quite Valadon Posty, but he has taken the ball by the horns, Brendan Powell.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
and again, obviously, like with the clock in the corner, we've seen a sudden lift in tempo from sort of 25, 26 miles an hour through the first sort of 6 furlongs of the race. We're all of a sudden up near 30 as they turn out towards the water jump on their last circuit.
All right, great stuff. Now, when I see a horse that's got basically £20 in hand, according to Racing Post Racing, first time blinkers jumping well up front, and all of a sudden I'm looking at £11 that Stolen Silver's got to get him. If I was getting involved, Barry, I would be on Slate House now.
Yeah, Stolen Silver traded a 5-4 when he was getting the uncontested lead, but as soon as Slate House went by him, he drifted all the way out. He's a 4-1 chance now. And there was large money done all the way down to 5-4 against Killer Clown 3.8, 4.4 Slate House. So the market's not convinced. Well, the in-running backers aren't convinced yet by Slate House, but it looks wide open. It's like 3 each of 4 at the moment, Dave.
I think we can say he's jumping best as well, Posty, can't we?
He's got into a really good rhythm with the blinkers on. Like Kate says, I don't see anything wrong with being massively positive when you put the blinkers on. It's designed to wake horses up and sharpen them up, and I like to see an aggressive ride with it. It's been a funny race though, like as in Stolen Silver was there and now is following.
On here, guys.
Killer Clown was up there, dropped back, and is now back up there. It's difficult to kind of read who is going best right now.
Yeah, absolutely, because Killer Clown is warming up, isn't he? And Tom Bellamy
Stolen Silver missed out there.
Yeah, he did. He's just gone back to third now, Stolen Silver, and I imagine that the market is not enjoying him at all. And Montezavois doesn't look like he's travelling at all. He's had his problems. Not Trapari, creepy for Ollie Murphy, giving himself a chance of a double. Could this indeed be the day? The double bluff from JP. We're on the far side. How many have we got left to go? 5?
4.
Trapari is your new favourite. There's been 3 different favourites so
cruising.
far in running.
Yeah, I wouldn't roll out the grey yet, I don't think. And Montezavois has been held together by Bryony Foss. Hard to see him winning, but all's not totally done with there. All right, okay, 2 are going clear then. For me, Slate House still the one to beat very much on that back form, and he's showing he wants it. Here we go then. 4 out, there it is. When you get a good stride there at Wincanton, this is where the race develops.
It's a real momentum shifter, isn't it? You go and wing that fence and trap on round the bend.
You're getting excited now as a
Clown.
jump.
Yeah.
Killer Clown.
6-4 on Killer Clown.
Yeah, okay, he's the last off the bridle then. Slate House now, the old legs may be finding him out slightly.
Trapari's still travelling.
Yeah,
Not Trapari, now shaken up. Killer Clown, listen, he stays further. This really ought to be his race now. Let's have a look. Slate House not done with. He's getting outpaid. Great jump by Slate House on the inside. Killer Clown's going to have to find this now. Not Trapari booked for third at best. Stolen Silver not so good. He goes to the inside, Brendan Powell. Okay, this looks like a quick double for Barry Orr then. We're coming to the second half, I think.
Killer.
Up he goes. Neat jump by Tom Bellamy. This was the day then. Tongue tie on for the first time.
Tom, hands and heels.
Oh, yeah, don't do anything. No one likes the hero, Tom, says Barry. And he's up and going. Oh, the quick doubles there. Slate House, worst jump at the last. But he's back on track. I think we can say that. Maybe they'll be having a look at some veterans chases for him now down the line, because while the fire burns, not quite as brightly, I think we can say that. Disappointments in behind, no doubt. Stolen Silver had the lead taken off him. Yeah. he just spat out the bit a bit. And not Trapari, back to 2 miles next time. Might well have one there. What does Iron Smiler say? He's been saying some cheeky things today. I tell you what, Barry, a quick double, and the Smiler says, Bazza sneezes, 4-leaf clovers, and rabbit's feet.
Very good. I've never heard that one. It's another 200 quid for the charity, so that's 900 now for the Injured Jockeys Fund, thankfully. But a race of contrasting fortunes, it has to be said. Stolen Silver hit a low of 2.20, so 5-4 he traded at. Notre Pare hit a low of 2.32, so he's traded at a little over 5-4. Slade House traded at 2.0, which is even money.
Wow.
So we 3 different in-running favourites on the exchange there. But Killer Clowns ran out a convincing winner at the finish. Betfair SP of 4.6. And like I say, another 200 quid for the Injured Jockeys Fund, thankfully.
Beautiful. The merry month of January. Still so much to come, of course. Will be next weekend. What's next weekend? Good question.
The Ascot next weekend.
Is it the Ascot?
Oh,
is it the
is
Amherst?
that
House?
No, that's 2 weeks time.
weeks?
What is it, Will, in the diary? It's some sort of Pertemps race. Anyway, we don't actually know. Basically, no, it's
Quite a day.
There is something on. I'm sure it is. I'm not exactly sure what it is. The boys will find out. Lanzarote. That's what it is. Well done. We got there in the end, Will. Barry, did we send you out a calendar for this year?
No, you did not. I'm working off an Injured Jockeys Fund calendar, and it's not the same at all. It's not the same way that the Racing Post one is, that has them mapped out in weeks properly. So,
But at least they send one to you.
Barry, I am going to get that sorted for you. Don't worry. The powers that be will be told.
greatly appreciated.
I will get one there. There are other invitations out there, as Barry just showed, but not to. Have you been sent one of them, have you?
No.
Has anyone? Have you?
I did get
Oh,
one.
you
actually.
got one.
I did get one.
nice.
I
I
have
bought
staff.
the Injured Jockeys one.
Of course, absolutely. Well, I think they owe you a beer now,
to
don't
be
they?
fair now, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got one more to come at Sandown. It really has been a fun afternoon, guys, isn't it? You know, I'm not going to say they're not all fun, but this has been it helps, doesn't it, when you get a good old cheer. We have Maxi, thanks to Barry and Dolphin Square, and you've been involved in your own one, Prime Venture. That was a good old shout, wasn't it?
I wasn't involved. No.
You were on the second team.
Yeah,
You were livid.
I've been second and third all afternoon. It's
Brewing
brilliant.
that one.
We've had Kate's winner coming against her partner's
At
horse,
one
who was
time.
second
Yeah.
as well, with the intricate lines in
The
racing.
quote of the day, that's why she gets on in this game.
Yes,
Can I put that in my bio now, in my Twitter bio, please?
Well done, Killer Clown. Well done, Barry. Dominating, says Hugh Masson. Got that plenty wrong himself. Perhaps you could help. Now, you're on a hat-trick, Barry, in the last at Sandown. We're agreeing in this. All of a sudden, I'm jumping on your bandwagon.
Yeah, Navajo Pass, Dave. But the betting, first of all, Hermes Boy 3.85, Natural History 6.2, 5.7 McDeman. Bakova is 8.4, 9.6 and BZ Fix, and Navajo Pass 11.5. He's a horse I backed on New Year's Day last year, Dave. If you recall, we covered Musselburgh, and he won quite convincingly off 142. He went on to beat Bouvedere then in the new one hurl in Haydock. Now, obviously, Bouvedere didn't give its true running that day, but still, it was a really tasty performance. Went up to 156 at one stage last year, would you believe? He's rated now. They've dropped him 11 pounds. And last day, I'd forgiven that run because it was his first run after a wind up, and it was over 280 days off. So I just thought he could go well here off top weight with Theo Gillard claiming a couple of pounds off. So just straightforward here, Kate. I thought he'd either win or he wouldn't be anywhere. So we're just going to have 50 quid win on him at 11.5. Again, have to be a price taker, Navajo Pass.
He was a little bit keen, and he hit the first last time, Barry. He was only a 12-1 shot for that your hurdle there, which Samarive won. Do you remember on Dingle Creek?
But he's been dropped 11 pounds in 2 runs since he was rated 156. That's aggressive from the UK handicapper, which is something we could discuss at another point, Dave. How aggressively the UK handicapper is dropping UK runners off 1 and 2 runs.
I can't think why that is, Barry. Can you? I've got no idea.
Bring on Cheltenham after all.
All of a sudden,
we've got a chat.
Heard of in years past, isn't it,
No,
Charlie?
yeah,
to
yeah.
drop a horse 11 pounds, 2
No.
runs.
Massively, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why
Especially
I've come
horses
for him,
been
because with
performing at a
Theo
decent
Gillard,
level.
who can ride now, he's kind of running loose basically, and the first time cheap pieces are on the ground won't be a problem, and I like him as well. And if you, he beat Newtown Boy when he won on New Year's Day last year, who won his next race, and form has got substance there, and he's lower than that today. So Paul Keeley likes this as well. So 3 wise monkeys there for you. Charlie Post, before we go to Kate Tracy, who really likes one in this.
Hoping for an Adam Wedge double. Mac the man.
Another bandwagon.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
Ran well in the Imperial Cup in slow conditions over this course and distance last March, and won at Exeter narrowly, only up £3. And again, he'll handle conditions. He likes the track.
He's something of an enigma, this bloke. I think I'm going to call him something of an underachiever. Because
Possibly.
he probably has had a few problems. I think they tried to make him into a proper Betfair Hurdle horse, didn't they? And then maybe he still could turn up there and have a say. But when he bit last one at Sandown, do you know who he beat? We obviously don't.
Go on.
You've got
No.
a
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
blank
no, I didn't know
expression. Protectorate. That was in 2019. I think we always thought that this was going to be one of the Ruckers horses that might progress into a proper horse. You know, he tried his arm fencing, didn't it? Didn't quite work out. He is interesting, but he's one of those. He's one of those projects that I've jumped
There
off.
are a few
He does
interesting
tend to win
horses
when he
here,
jumps
like
off.
Natural History as well.
Oh, don't even go there. We all thought he was going to run a sledger in the Imperial.
Yeah.
This race is something of a tester for the Imperial. The weekend before Sandown, where in the old days you'd go try and win that and get a penalty and go and win the County or the Coral. Usually the County. The Pipes did it so well. David Pipe doesn't have a run in this. One horse who successfully did that was Monsieur Lecoq a couple of years ago for Jane Williams, and you are all over.
Hermes Boyd hopefully do the same, as his stablemate, Monsieur Lecoq, from those few years ago here. I mean, when I was looking at this race, the first thing I do is I go back through the trends. I try and see which horses fit those trends. 3 of them, Hermes Boyd, Mac the Man and Volkovka, all perfectly fitted all of my trends. I mean, just look at this. I say horses 5 or 8 years have won the last 5 runnings, each performing well on the last start. Official rating of 122 to 134 is optimal. Ideally, they've had a 1 run this season. Difficult to know running style, but either not to make all or completely drop out, and at least 3 weeks since that horse's latest outing. All 3 of those hit those. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I then had to delve deeper into it then. And I just say, Mac the Man, I just feel he hasn't shown the ability we all hoped he had when, as you say, winning over this course and distance back along, because when he was brought down in the Betfair Hurdle, I was on him that day, and it just seems to have left a mark on him. Last time out, his win at Exeter, I don't really rate that form very much.
There's won twice since, and that's what I mean. He's a bit like that in and out horse. Maybe this is the day, but Poste believes this is the day where we put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
So Hermes Boy for Kate then, and again, still better than 124 basically.
I hope so.
Yeah, okay.
He's difficult to know because he's shown his quirks throughout his career so far. I mean, he was an eye catcher at Worcester.
Need this win to get into a Betfair, wouldn't he? So the winner of this last year, Guard Your Dreams, a horse that we know very well on this show, he went on to run a hugely eye-catching race. Red Herring it was in the end for the rest of the season in the Betfair Hurdle. So look, this is going to be a big narrative for some of the whopping handicaps to come. Not too long before your big day at Newbury, Barry. Will you be there?
Sorry, Dave, you just got out there.
Are you going to Newbury for the biggie next month?
Oh, I certainly am. Yeah, I wouldn't miss it. Yeah, I'll be there from the Friday. Just get there nice and early, for sure. Betfair Super Saturday, and then the following week we have Betfair Ascot Chase. So February's a big month for us.
And please, Lord, we don't have the great freeze, because we had to improvise a bit last year, didn't we?
Well, it's a meeting we've been really unlucky with, from horses getting electrocuted in the parade ring to being snowed off to having to put the card on. Was it last year or the year before we ended up doing a thing with Ascot where we put some of the races on there as well?
It was the year before, wasn't it? Al Dancer
the year
won it
before,
when he did that. And then we went on the Sunday, didn't we, last year? Do you remember?
That's
we all
right,
came in here for the Sunday, but we were still in full lockdown, so we were delighted to be out and doing it, that's for sure. It's one of the great meetings, isn't it? What used to be the old Tote Sport or whatever, you know, at a Tote God Trophy when Rooster Booster was running it and things like that. The crowd there is fantastic. If you can get down there to Newbury, go and see Barry down there, you get the fresh air. I've never seen a race ever where they've gone as fast to the first hurdle as they do in the Betfair Hurdle. Certainly of old, they used to win.
That's what the lads say as well, don't they? Any lad that I've spoken to that's ridden in it, they said they've never been as fast in a race in their life down to the first in the Betfair Hurdle.
Yeah, and we've got a lovely narrative for it now building up, and we've got the 18th at Ascot, of course, which we saw, won by Tritonic, of course. That's usually a big purse for it. And it all works towards the big festivals as well. This is a key race coming up, our final race this afternoon on RP Live. What a time we have indeed had. And you'll be seeing Kate next week as well. Posty, you'll be joining us next month. It's all to come, isn't it? Are you going to go down to Cheltenham? Are you doing a bit of 5 Live there with Hunty again this year? Is that on the cards?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somehow you've really walked into that, haven't you? You've just you found your niche a little bit with that, haven't you? Who thought you'd ever be on the Beeb?
Well,
I mean, remarkable.
You're more shocked than me, to be honest.
I really am.
Yeah.
I really am. But you came in and joined us on the Saturday. Will you do that again this year?
Well, if I'm invited, yeah.
Well, of course you'll be invited because you were giving us. I mean, Kate, these two that were on the panel, Barry, were at Cheltenham last year. Kate sort of, I don't want to say you hadn't made a name for yourself prior to that, Kate, but I certainly came on your radar a lot more because you social blogged it.
Yeah.
And you were showing us behind the scenes with the Willie Mullins camp. Blue Sari was your horse that day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you assisted win the other day.
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
And you were there, of course, when you were doing it all. It was now we've got 720 quid if you want to stay in a hotel if you've not booked yet. Everyone wants to go.
You can stay with me. We're only 40 minutes.
I can. Yeah. I'll be in here, so I'll be.
You'd be sorry you said that, Charlie.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If it freezes on Betfair Hurdle Day, you might be getting Barry round for Sunday lunch. We'll go and watch some pointing, shall we, Barry? That would be a good crack, wouldn't it?
I'd love to do that someday in the UK. Go pointing with Charlie. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we are. There is
Great
behind the scenes talk.
We want a spring day with
I'll tell you
warm
what,
weather.
I'll tell you what. We've just found the sponsor for the day.
Yeah.
Happy days. Yeah, we are. Listen, the pointing's back. It's huge. In Ireland at the moment, there's a bit of a problem with insurance, isn't there? We're hoping the government might step in. If no one else does, it's a massive, massive problem. Here, it's starting to thrive again.
Yeah, but for sure. I mean, look, it's an exciting time of year. I think we might run our first unraced 4-year-old next weekend. So yeah.
It's coming.
And Charlie, is that ones that you haven't managed to sell, or are they just?
No, these are 3-year-olds to turn forward. So yeah.
No.
It might not work out. I think we're going to run a diamond boy called Boyd Levis that goes very well. I'm pretty excited about.
If we do go punting with him, though, guys, at the point to points, if you come and find us there at this point to point, we'll give you plenty of time. We'll go out there. He did manage to get third time lucky beaten in his only point. Yeah. So, and we're talking about a horse that might be running in the Arkle. So,
it will be.
Is Energumen the most famous?
He is
Point-to-pointer to make the transition.
Ahoy Senor and Energumen. Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them coming.
There's
through.
There's a better class of horses coming through.
Massively.
Because historically, with the UK point-to-point, like obviously in Ireland, it's a business that has been for quite a long time. In that, back in the 80s, when things were bad, a farmer would keep a mare. They'd have a foal. They keep it as a store and hope to get a win in it, and a point-to-point, and get it sold to England. But obviously, like England has always been kind of, from a point-to-point point of view, has it always been kind of more gentleman riders and older horses as opposed to younger horses coming through?
Without doubt. I mean, but I think like what we're seeing is for the future of the sport, there's become a more commercial element of it. A lot of younger people, and before you jump in, Dave, I'm not saying myself as a younger person, but younger people are seeing it as an opportunity to make a few quid out of it. And so, like you say, as the success of the horses that are being produced has increased and the price has gone up, people are spending more money on the stores, so you're seeing better quality come through. And
Charlie, the discussion with the cross-industry group that we saw the findings from this week, did they consult point-to-point industry or the point-to-point people?
Funnily enough, they didn't consult me, so as in if they did, it'd be news to me. I mean, but I do think, hey, for the strength of British racing, having a nursery within the country that is producing decent horses has to be a bonus. So I think, again, it's another angle for British racing to look to come forward by trying to produce a few of our own stars in the country,
Yeah. So
big time, yeah.
So anything Ireland can do, Charlie Post can do better. Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah, without doubt.
And I love the fact that Barry said, in fact, you have not sold these. Oh, no, Barry. he knows what he's got. He gets one ready for a point-to-point. You had one win by half the track the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Has that been sold yet?
Is it sold?
Yeah, that's it, Charlie Longton's. I think he's a nice horse.
What's his name?
He's called Western Zephyr.
Western
I think he's a nice
Zephyr.
horse. The one that runs next Saturday is a good deal better now.
Yeah, see that.
Who's he by, Charlie?
He's by Diamond Boy, which and I know that a lot of the Irish guys aren't wild about. We've had luck with him. Kate is hoping Herma's boy is gonna. That's the son of Diamond Boy, and he's called Boyd Levis. We bought him off the Bleehan brothers at the Land Rover last year, and I think he's very good.
Where's he running?
He'll either run at Buckfastleigh or Sheriff Hutton. I think.
What sort of? One's northern, one's.
Yeah, one's down by
Where do they go,
Exeter, one's up by North Yorkshire. So yeah,
The driving these guys have to do to get to
Do they
these
go left or
points.
right-handed around Buckfastleigh nowadays?
Left-handed. Buckfastleigh. Yeah, they used to go the other way around.
So listen, if you're at a loose fix and you want to go and have a bit of fun next Sunday, you listen. We will find out for you where that chap is running and go and have a look.
More importantly, Charlie, can you get us on?
I wish I could, as in they open up about 7 to 4. I'd never, so I never back them now. No.
All I'm going to say is third time lucky. So we shall watch that one from afar. All right, as we watch Natural History go down for our final race. Natural History is the one in here. He's taken a keen tug to Poste, hasn't he? I don't know. He was favourite for the Imperial around about this time last year, last spring or whatever. It's all gone wrong since. I just wonder whether
he's almost doubled in price, Dave.
Yeah, they're getting their eye in, I think, aren't they, for a return?
Yeah, McDeman's the one they want to be with, 4.5 now. Challenging Hermes Boy at the head of the market is 4.2, but he's really strong, McDeman.
All right, a lot of people out there loving Zambezi Fix as well. What do you make of Chester Williams? Hugh Masson is asking on the chat box.
Chester Williams, I think he's a tactically astute rider, to be fair.
He's got the tactical nous. All right,
the tactical nous.
All right, well, we're about to find out because he is on the favourite here. Kate Tracey going for a double out of 3 runners on her Betfair column as well. The Spotlight Nap, Volkova, a few of you like that out there as well. They've got Nap in the last, looks sufficiently promising. Volkova?
She was given a beast of a ride last time out by Peter Kavanagh. Like really, not all brilliant rides end in a win, and that was a frustration then for Peter Kavanagh last time out. I mean, he could not have timed it any more to perfection, but he just bumped into a really well handicapped mare in Scirocco's Dream, who I still think is well handicapped. So yeah, she's a danger.
We're going to find out because they are off and running, and the well handicapped McGowan's Pass, second one for Jenny Candlish. Sam Tristan-Davis, who's having a really good winter. Again, Sam takes it up, nice and keen he is. Let's have a look down, Hydroplane. Wheels came off last time on his return. They're going for the first time tongue-tied Tom Scudamore, Ian Williams in second. Hermes Boy on the inside, settled okay, along with Navajo Pass, who has settled better today. Over the first we go. Volkova fine in midfield. Unsurprisingly, Natural History just not dropping his head at the moment.
Again.
Zambezi Fix, who caught my eye a little bit last time over fences. Bernard Dwellin, Ben Jones back over hurdles, and McNamara out the back. How are you feeling about that, Charlie Poste?
Very happy right now. I think Adam Wedge has got a perfect pitch, and no finer man to deliver a waiting ride. Yeah,
like Prime Venture Mark II then hopes. Poste, okay, out onto the far side. Kate Hermes Boy, he doesn't want to give this loader too far out. Do you think he's a little bit too keen, or?
That's sort of the way he travels through his races, to be honest. I'd actually rather see him on the bridle and concentrating like that rather than showing sort of the quirks and looking around not concentrating as we've seen previously from him. So he probably is that little bit keener. That is sort of Chester's way of riding anyway, though, all the same. Keep an eye on this horse in front, but I'm very happy with his position. And we mentioned about that Zambezi Fix held up then in rear. Conditions should suit him. He was actually in my blog on his penultimate start when second at Sandown there at a decent price. But so hopefully he doesn't come good this time around when I've sided against him. Yeah,
of course it was the Summer Eve run, wasn't it? He said, not Zambezi's Fix, not Zambezi's Fix. Just kept ploughing through. So a return to this course. Could see the best in the grey out the back at the moment, though. OK, Barry, we're on the far side. One's gone clear. It's McGowan's Pass.
Yeah, it's 7.0, but I don't think they're going any pace at all, Dave. They only seem to be crawling. 4.2 Hermes Boy, 4.9 McDeman, 7.8 Zambezi Fix, 11 Navajo Pass now from Betfair SP at 12.2, but I don't think they're going to start racing until they get into the straight by the look of it.
Is that going to be a wise thing then, probably at the moment? Again, the chasing pack just not making their move. They're looking at the veteran up top basically and thinking he'll come back.
Yeah, I think without doubt. I mean, look, as we said, especially over hurdles, staying is at a premium, and there's no need to be pulling the trigger now. Like they're going to wait till the race unfolds as they straighten up for home. I
thought he was just about to inject it there, Kate, and he caught a couple of them out. Navajo Pass went through the top of it a little bit. McNamara maybe a little bit low, but again, it's just one clear and the chase is waiting.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? And as you say, I mean, you wouldn't want to be too far back now in this field, considering they haven't gone a mad pace to be sort of kicking, especially in these sorts of conditions. Yeah. I mean, Paddy Brennan's been live to that, riding the mare much further Volkovka than usual, taking the Paddy Brennan route of being much wider, of course, as well, which we always associate with him.
Yeah, and she just hit the top of that hurdle, but it caused no damage whatsoever.
Again, though, you're going to see on deep ground when they get in tight, they can't help but flip through the top bar.
This is going to be a slow motion finish, whatever happens. Even if one comes home on the bridle, it will be a slow motion finish. So 3 out we go then. McGowan's Pass, Hydroplane right there. And again, Volkova not great. I think that was Hermes Boy that walked through that one.
He is just jumping awfully.
Must have gone big, out to 6-1 on the exchange at the minute. All right, look at Zambezi. He keeps catching my eye. Zambezi.
If he comes good now, after...
Oh dear, that was rough, wasn't it? What happened there then?
Well, they got a bit tight. Chester Williams bumped into the rail and came out. And
Navajo got a bump, didn't he?
Navajo got a bump, yeah.
And they're back on the bridle, the pair of them. That was back to their
previous hurdle, wasn't it?
Look at Matt the man on the inside, that familiar stalking poise of Adam Wedge. He's out the back, but he's confident still, Adam, isn't it? All right, then now we're racing finally. Into the home straight we go. Nothing is out of this at all, are they, guys?
I want to be off that inside rail still.
Looks like Hydroplane's just about to take the measure of McGowan's Pass, but he hasn't totally gone for the leader yet. yet. Look at Zambezi, keeps going, perhaps natural
Oh,
history.
don't come good now,
Navajo
Zambezi.
Pass has gone to the back. He's just not, the back class has not gone his way. I don't think that bump maybe caused him, but he's not coming. Stand side, it looks like they're going to come
Yeah,
at the
you
moment.
wanna be
Then.
stand side
It
here.
is Tom Scudamore. Look at Matt the Man. Poste, are you going to get this one?
Over chance.
A chance.
Come on,
Come on,
Hermes.
Hermes.
Hermes boys
Come on,
filling his
Chester.
lungs a little bit. Zambezi fix. We
What
know
about
he's the
Zambezi
finisher.
fix?
Yeah,
No,
he's the
don't
finisher,
come
Barry.
good.
It's that Samary's form. Matt the Man, flattered
Come
to the
on,
seat on the
Chester.
inside.
Come on,
no for
Hermes.
Hermes boy. He's not going to deliver today. Over goes Hydroplane then. First time tongue tie, but Zambezi fix. Surely the finisher.
Hydroplane
Samary's
wins,
form.
guys.
Hydroplane comes back to form. Then
Hydroplane
what went wrong on his
bounces back.
return? Is absolutely walking up the hill.
Oh,
For
not
some
on
reason,
that
Hermes
track.
boys gone right to the inside on the Chester Williams. Zambezi fixed second again. Loves Sandown. 1-2 good. McGowan's pass back in third. Absolute stormer from the front. Whew, Barry took it up a long way out. When did he go really low?
He only went really low in the shadows of the post, really, Dave. We had Mac the Man traded a low of 1.52, which is 2-1 on. Zambezi fix your runner-up, hit a low of 2.26. But the winner stuck it out well. He had a bet for SP at 24.5.
Wow. Okay.
First time tongue tie.
Yeah, done the
Like
job,
the-
hasn't it?
Like they like Lavell's horse in the chase at Wincanton. So make a big difference.
And getting a lot of weight.
Yeah.
As was McGowan's pass and Zambezi fix. So anything over 11 stone in that hasn't got it. Hermes boy's a bit disappointing, wasn't he, Kate?
Yeah, he didn't jump at all out of that ground the whole way around. Then, of course, there was the incident with Navajo Pass as well. Where
Yeah, he definitely sulked then, I think. Navajo
Yeah,
pass.
because basically, Hermes boy, he's missed that hurdle. It's meant that he's come back into the path of the Your Horse Navajo Pass, then, which meant it's then got tight when the rails come back out, and then there's just been no room for all of them to go there, and they've got into a bit of a jostling match. Navajo Pass has then sulked as a result. Hermes boy probably, I mean, the race was gone at this point when he did drift over to that far side, but he has just, yeah, that was disappointing off this mark from him. But Navajo Hydroplane, apologies, back in really likeable form for another shrewd operation, obviously, with the Ian Williams team the first time tongue tie.
Yes, indeed. All right, Barry, that's the final of 8 races. We've had some fun. It's been fast and furious. You take the honours again, my man. All about the Big E, Prime Venture in the Veterans Chase. Hats off.
Yeah, look at it, bro. Prime Venture and Killer Clown to the meetings today. Thankful to see both of them win. 900 quid for the Injured Jockeys Fund, so we'll get a check off to them on Monday from Betfair. So great couple of hours with you guys, and I'm away for the next 2 weeks, Dave. So I think Ryan's going to be steering the ship from a Betfair point of view, so watch out for that.
Great stuff, Barry. Great to have you with us. The big hitter will be back. Don't you worry about that. Ryan McHugh last time he was in, he got a lovely big prize winner as well. A very able deputy. Yes, it is, of course, Classic Chase Day next Saturday. That must have been a race you had
won
a lot
that,
of. You actually won that. What was the horse?
Roos Blanc?
Oh, blimey. For Charlie Mann.
No, Kerry Lee.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was. So they were the source of your 2 posted winners.
Well, yeah, a couple of them, yeah.
How many did you have?
Matt Shepherd, he could do a row. Robin Dickin had a few for him.
Up at Doncaster. All right. He's been very coy about it, isn't he? Have you enjoyed today?
Yeah, it's been fun, yeah.
So the Classic Chase next Saturday. We've got the Lanzarote Chase next Saturday as well. Kate, you'll be back for that?
Yes, exactly. I'm happy to know what races we have next weekend, because January's just sort of a bit of a miss, really, of a month. So I kind of forget what we've got coming up.
22nd is the Clarence House Chase, we should say. So that
Yeah.
is Ergamine Please.
I mean, that could be an
versus
absolute
Shishkin.
cracker.
A
cannot
championship
wait.
race away from
But-
Cheltenham, who knew?
First flow as well.
First flow, yeah, absolutely. Last year's winner, of course, Peterborough Chase winner. Well, thanks, Charlie.
No way
Kate,
they both show up. No way they both show up.
you think an Ergamine will show up instead of Shishkin?
100%.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
and
I'd be with Barry on that.
it's the word in the camp. So but listen, I don't know. He's apparently jumping out of his skin, Shishkin.
Out of his shishkin.
If the out of his
That's
Shishkin.
good. Headline next week.
If the Quality Jumps Racing Review has got it right, this will be a tussle. So I don't know. We might see it, mightn't we? Who knows? We can live
Here's
the dream.
hoping.
Can't
We can.
We
Yeah.
can live the dream. Thanks to the guys, Will and Carl in the gallery. Thanks to you guys as well out there for watching. It's been another fun day. Let's hope you found a few winners. From myself, Dave Orton. Loads of sport out there. Enjoy it. See you next Saturday.